and we are ready. We are. I'm calling this the official going live. We're now live.
Right, we are now live. I mean, to be fair, I need more singing. Right. We are live.
We are. I mean, beautiful, beautiful. Obviously. All right. Do you want to start us off, Alex?
Oh, of course. Why not? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. How are we all doing today? It is the 16th of April, 2024. I don't know why I had to check the year, but I did. How are you all doing? Of course, it's me, IronMac 404, one of your admins of the London Corviknights. With me, as always, is the man who is the master of insert random Pokemon here.
That was a very interesting way of doing that.
Licky. There you go.
Excellent. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Welcome in. Thank you, Alex. And how have you been today, actually? Let's do a little catch up. How have you been, personally?
Not been bad. I've not been bad yet. Do you know what's weird, though? Like, I feel as though the UK weather recently has had more shifts of tone and attitude than anyone I could ever think of.
Yeah, I agree.
In the space of a day.
It has been.
Yeah, like in the space of a day, yesterday, it went from clear skies to rain to hail, back to clear skies in the matter of like an hour.
Yes, and I got caught in all 5 of them. It was amazing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I was on the way home from my counselling session, and I got like wind so bad I had to turn around to breathe, and then hail stuck in my hair, freezing my brain. I was trying to create like a barrier of good vibes around me to protect me, and I couldn't concentrate enough to do it. So that's the only reason I wasn't able to do that.
Oh lord.
Because it was obviously so cold.
Oh, that's not great. Like, I mean,
yes.
To be fair, who would you blame more though, Groudon or Kyogre?
Do you know what? I think it was. I think it was a bomber snow. I'm not gonna lie, because it was all hail, and then it was like giving itself 50% defense increase. It was very much classic Obama snow, actually.
Do you know what I'm getting now? I'm getting an image of you just walking down like a cartoon character, just all happy and jolly, and then Obama Snow's like, I don't like that.
Yeah, he's like, you, none of that.
I don't like that.
That guy just had therapy. Get him.
Just him wearing like baseball caps, holding baseball bats.
Do you know what? I'll say, you know what? I say that, I make a joke. I've actually never met an Obama Snow who's been like that mean. Everyone that I've ever met has actually been relatively quite nice. Actually, they do look grumpy, but they're quite nice. The Obama Snows are quite
also, I like the fact your conscience has just said you should have used Y-Guard.
Oh yeah, man! I totally got blizzarded. I got blizzarded hard. Yeah,
great.
I should have.
Right.
Did get frozen. Could not move for a certain amount of turns.
Could not move.
Oh
dear. But, yes, hello to everyone in Twitch chat as well as in the Discord chat. Unfortunately, we will do our best to try and keep communication with both chats as we go on tonight. But please do know that your appearance is we appreciate you making an appearance nonetheless. But I mean, other than that, I don't think really much has happened in the past week. Oh wait, no, Orlando Regional.
Oh, Orlando Regional drop. Wolf Click coming out again. Back to back. Like Orlando, it's blooming. If you
Orlando blooming.
I'm just gonna remove myself from the screen right now.
Orlando blooming. Oh my god! Somebody needs to make that a thing. I want that. I want that a lot. Like,
I'm sorry, everyone.
Orlando blooming. Oh, so good. Just an image of Wolf Click as Orlando Bloom.
Oh, to be honest.
In the Lord of the Rings.
He could, if you put them side by side.
He could pull it off.
I'm not going to lie, I've never seen Orlando Bloom and Wolf Click in the same room at the same time. So
I don't think it's happened yet.
Exactly.
Like, Orlando Bickle. But yes, obviously Orlando happened. We we'll probably try and talk about that next week, just simply because we have a lot to go through tonight. As of course tonight is our first roundtable discussion.
Yes.
We asked you on the Discord last week to submit Pokemon for answering a simple question. But by all means, if people do have still have Pokemon that they want to talk about in the chat, by all means, post your Pokemon. But the question was simply, which Pokemon hasn't won Worlds but should have? I think that is pretty much the summarization of said question. We have 4 Pokemon to go through tonight, which I do believe one of them is planning to join us to discuss it in person for a good 5-10 minutes. From what you were mentioning, Barrett, I do apologize if I got that wrong.
Well, they should be coming by. Yes, they should be coming by to defend
Okay, cool.
their point.
To defend their point, and then of course we all collectively have to decide which Pokemon is the most, is basically number one in our thoughts. But all of them, we've read them. All of them are great submissions, I will admit. But we have a couple that we want to discuss as well beforehand. But we also want to talk just in general, just quickly. Barrett, I noticed you wanted to talk about any submissions, YouTube comments, chat forums, things like that. If anything has crossed your mind, because if not, I'll move on to our game if you haven't got it.
Well, I think, from what we've seen, the submissions that we got in were really, really great. We had a little bit of a discussion at the end of in the post-show of our last show about some suggestions that people had, which is really, really cool. Hopefully we'll get to see if any of our people in the post-show ended up guessing any of the Pokemon that we're going to be guessed tonight. And then I suppose another thing that'd be interesting is we get to see whether or not we are right about any of them soon, because we'll find out if any of them become world champion. I don't know if we got any comments for any suggestions last week, but we did get a lovely comment from Charlie Merriman saying great episode of the podcast. Yeah. So that was nice.
Also, shout out again to Captain Oro, actually.
Oh, yes.
Sorry to cut you off.
Of course.
Captain Oro, I raided him last week. And bless him, he was like, I'm halfway through the episode. I noticed you gave me a shout out. Thank you very much for that. But I'm only halfway through the episode. But I decided I had to go stream. So I'm going to watch the other half afterwards. I was like, oh, dude, bless you. Like, please take your time.
Yeah, what a legend.
But he was an absolute sweetheart about it. Absolute, loved it.
Nice.
So again, shout out to Captain Oro. What a legend. But yes, I guess I don't know if there's any other comments to be made.
No, unless there's anyone in the chat who has a suggestion that they want to voice right now. That'd be interesting to see.
Your Conscious is saying, hopefully one of the Pokemon tonight is Electivire.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Like, it could be. It could be. You never know. You never know. But okay, right. I think we could just move on. Really, we'll save the game for next week. Actually, because I kind of did think, we have got a lot to go through tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, actually, sorry. No, there is one thing I definitely wanted to go through. Just gonna stop sharing my stream for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
So I can get the correct one up, because honestly, this really made my day. If I could find the link, find it. There we go. Right. Shout out goes to the person who got top cut at a Orpington Premier Challenge, top 4 with a Diglett.
Oh yeah, the Diglett.
Someone got top 4 with a Diglett.
What a legend!
Which absolute legend. The fact that there was 10 masters, 2 seniors, and a junior as well, and they got to top 4.
Amazing.
Behind Taron Birdie, who's considered one of the best UK players right now.
Let's go.
Imagine you're one of the best players in the UK, and you're like, oh, you got semi-final, you must be quite decent. Yeah, I use Diglett.
Oh, I mean, interesting. But I saw on the tweet they said it wasn't even arena trap. Like, it wasn't supposed to be there for any shenanigans of it just being on the field.
No, it wasn't, was it?
It wasn't arena trap.
No.
Which means, what was it for? Maybe it was like Endeavor strats?
It has to be Endeavor.
Like, focus
Endeavor
sash,
something.
Yeah.
Because it's actually Sturdy or arena trap, is it not? I mean, I've got Cerebi up. We can have a quick look.
Let's have a look. What has it got?
I am... Oh, Sandvale.
Sand
Oh, it's not
Force.
sturdy.
Oh, Sand Force. I get it now. That Life Orb Sand Force damage is so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
so wait,
I mean-
Sand did it have sand mode on the team?
I don't think it did, you know.
No.
Choreograph. Relevant. No, it doesn't.
It
like,
doesn't.
So what were you doing?
That's so funny.
What were you? Oh, I might need to reach out to this person and just like, look, we've been talking about this on the podcast. We need to know what on earth was the Diglett's job.
That's so good. I mean, have you ever heard about the Chicago circuit? About how in Chicago everyone does like the funniest, jankest stuff. It's like considered a like a whole meta there. Like if you everyone turns up with like essentially a best of one team that they're gonna play for the whole thing. And I think if we can develop,
like if it works, it works.
If we develop a local scene where we're just like, you have to bring some form of teeny tiny little Pokemon that like what doesn't look like it's gonna do something that isn't Clefairy.
If you go to Pikalytics and you scroll right to the bottom, you're allowed to pull any Pokemon all the way to the bottom. Any Pokemon with 0.01 and lower.
I use Rhyhorn. Right, actually, I think Rhyhorn's probably too good.
I've got Nuzleaf.
Imagine it gets to the point where the local scene starts becoming like, this guy used an Eevee as he thinks he's being fun. He's taken the mick out of all of us using Eevee.
Oh, don't do that. Nerd would actually do that.
But Eevee's a good Pokemon. So I'm definitely like, no, it's Ladybug or it's like
Lord. Yeah.
only like plankton-like Pokemon like Timpole, but nothing like Eevee's a real Pokemon. Let's be real. Eevee, I think, actually has come in like some form of top something in a world championship. It might have won.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, Eevee boosted Eevee in Gen 7.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not even
+2
a meme.
in every stat. It's not a meme.
Yeah, it's not even a meme. It's good.
Sweet, I used Furret.
Furret. There you go, Sweet. There you go.
I mean, to be fair, I am expecting, if I scroll all the way to the bottom of Pikalytics, I am fully expecting to find Cryogonal there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just be like, oh, you fell off hard times, buddy. You fell off hard times.
You did fall off.
Like, remember when you could have won Worlds? No, I'm joking.
Oh, so wrecked. How could you?
How could I? How could I do it?
How?
But yes, shout out to Jake Herbert, who piloted a Diglett on their team. I have no idea what they were doing in terms of what strat this Diglett had, but yeah, well done, mate. Actually, yeah, sorry, Swede did get second at a PC as well with the Furret. So,
yes,
and I believe Swede used it for a couple of regionals as well. So you know,
nice.
Furret has usage.
I think Furret's
and it's all sweet.
It could actually, yeah, or 0, but that's the 0.01% we're talking about, people.
Like, can you imagine if you know, you go to Pikalytics and it's like not only one person did it, and everyone's like, who is this sacred being? And it's just Swede appearing from like the shining skies.
And it's a Furret. I think, you know what? Now that I think about it, Furret, if you know, like, you need to be able to, you know, get rid of this bot that I'm banning right now. Sorry. There we go, done. Sorry about that. Yeah, so what were we talking about? I'm so sorry.
Mousehold is Furret, by the way.
Mousehold. Do you know what? Mousehold to the Furret led me back to the fact that I think that Furret could be good in Reg G because it is a normal type, so it is immune to Astral Barrage, and it gets Follow Me, and it gets Tidy Up, which could be interesting, you know? And it also gets Beat Up, I think.
Admittedly, I remember someone telling me that there's a new move called Tidy Up, and I thought they were lying, and I thought it was just someone trying to encourage me to be a bit more cleaner in my life.
You want to make like Mousehold Tidy Up, mate?
Yeah, they were like, Tidy Up, mate, and it was just like, what? And it was just like, yeah, use Tidy Up, plus some speed and whatnot. It's, no, mate. Like, what are you doing?
It's interesting. Because
stop it.
we don't we don't see it because it's more of a singles tech, because it's like used to get rid of entry hazards and stuff. But I think it gets rid of screens,
Yes, I think so.
so that's pretty good.
Oh no, sorry. It might not be screens, isn't it? Like entry hazard stuff, like toxic spikes and
Yeah, which could still be useful.
Oh, it might get rid of screens as well.
If it got rid of
I don't know.
screens,
We'll
that'd
have to have a look. I've never. If I'm honest with you, I've never used Mousehold. I've never particularly wanted to.
No, because of the hatred.
Oh, I just think it's ridiculous. But you know, if there's a strat that works, then obviously, you know, kudos to you.
Fair play.
But yes, we definitely do have some Pokemon we want to go over tonight.
Yes.
Which, yeah, were submitted by yourselves. Again, if anyone in chat does want to submit theirs, by all means, go ahead. We'll try and get through it. But I kind of felt as though, and Barrett was the same, we kind of felt as though we wanted to share our thoughts first before we go to the submissions. Just sort of have a brief discussion of what Pokemon we feel were kind of worthy of being title of should have been a world champion but isn't. I don't mind, Barrett, if you want to go first. Like if you've got yours fresh in your mind, ready to, if you lock the Pokemon in the gun, ready to fire it into our minds.
Well, I will say, I didn't write anything down, but I have a solid idea of like a Pokemon I have in mind. So I will go if you'd like, and I'll go on a bit of a
go for it.
parallel
Honestly,
about it.
Go for the tangent.
So my general thought is I think that Mimikyu should definitely be a world champion one day. And my reasoning for Mimikyu is because and it's not really about Mimikyu being a Pokemon that could be world champion, but about how one day I think that, and I think it could happen soon, Trick Room might win the world championship. And if Trick Room wins world championship, I think that Mimikyu will be on that team. And the reason being is that I think it has such good synergy with some really, really good Pokemon, including Calyrex Ice Rider, which works it like it just has great synergy with that Pokemon. Clear Amulet means that it doesn't have to worry about Intimidate drops anymore, so it kind of totally invalidates the Incineroar matchup. That meaning, like, I haven't really taken into account, I suppose, many of the other aspects to it, but Mimikyu also gets a bunch of other really good utility that will make it really good. It gets loads of status moves. It can self-paralyze like your own Pokemon. I think it'd be really interesting for the strats that you want to do. For example, like paralyze one of your Pokemon to drop the speed to make it go quicker in Trick Room. You know, I think that could be really good. Maybe those plays won't be seen, but it'll be a team maybe like that does things like that could win. And that's my reasoning why I think that Mimikyu could, and should be a world champion.
Yeah, I think you bring an interesting point. Like, I think Mimikyu's in that, you know, unique boat, isn't it? Of its ability is unique, right? Like, it definitely has a niche to it. And because I believe its ability got nerfed, did it not?
Yeah, it did. Oh, it was so good.
I can't remember what the nerf was now. But like, yeah, like base Mimikyu was quite something. Before he got I can't remember if it was the damage it got once the disguise was busted, or oh no, that was it. Yeah, so the original disguise was it's just busted, you don't lose HP, and then you're busted, you lose a bit of HP, which does play. That does sound very minimum, but it really does play a big factor into it when you think about the grander scale of things. Sorry, pardon me. But you're completely right though. Like Mimikyu is an interesting Pokemon, and you know I would not say no to see Mimikyu become a future world champion. I don't know whether we need to see something buffed for Mimikyu or whether we just haven't figured out the right teammates for it yet.
Yeah.
Or the format. Do you know what I mean? Like, is it just wrong place, wrong time in terms of Mimikyu at the moment?
Yeah, I can understand what you mean. I also think that I might be thinking about it like how it will probably be really good in Reg G, but when Worlds comes around next, well, it maybe this year, it could do it this year, but if it comes around to next year, it will lose the chance, I think, because I don't think that Mimikyu will be good in the double restricted format. I think it's specifically really good
Yeah.
with this one restricted format, which I really like playing. I've been playing for a while now because I as soon as I heard about it, that was my main focus. So I think based on that, it does have legs, but I'm not really seeing it enough at the moment. But that to me indicates that
Yeah.
it could have the legs to go somewhere, because it means if I'm not seeing it yet, it might be the future meta. So that's interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, it does really scream a Pokemon that works better in early regulations than later regulations.
Yeah.
I feel as though, because I mean, I'm happy. We'll talk about this in a bit, but there are definitely Pokemon when I was researching, like, when I was looking back at World Championships throughout the past 12 years, 13 years. There are definitely Pokemon that could have won Worlds that didn't, but you kind of have to look at it and think, you must have piloted that really well in order for it to work, because there are so many threats out there. I mean, yeah, Regulation G, like, I see where you're coming from 100%. Like, Mimikyu against the Cali, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Like that could be fun to watch. Like, to watch Calyrex Shadow Rider, like, go one-hit knockout thanks to a Shadow Sneak or something. Yeah, it's difficult for Mimikyu. It is difficult. I do feel as though... I do agree. I do definitely think a future world champion in Mimikyu. I feel as though we might need to see it buffed slightly, or given maybe the gimmick will favor it. Like, I honestly thought Terra.
Oh, you have frozen. You have gone. Where's Alex gone?
You never know.
Oh, you're back. You disappeared for a second.
Oh, hello.
You froze.
Oh, I was going to say you froze for a second.
Okay, well, at least we were both frozen.
We're okay now. We're okay.
We thawed.
We thawed through. Yeah. Honestly, I was just mentioning what you were saying. Just, maybe it's wrong generation, wrong time. Maybe it's the wrong gimmick.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely did think terrestrialization would have actually helped it, but we didn't really see much of it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. But you never know. We'll see what the future brings.
Dang you, Fluttermane, for coming in and taking the typing and being much better.
Oh yeah. It's sad because it's true.
Yeah.
Right. Have you got another Pokemon? Because if not, I'll happily go through mine if you want.
No, yeah, go for yours.
Okay, right. I mentioned this in the pre-show. I don't know whether I'm going to get flagged in the chats for this. I picked Colossal.
Yes.
I picked Colossal because I feel, and this is honest to truth, my opinion, and nobody I've not been influenced by anything. The Players' Cup teams should be recognized as world champions, considering the fact they were technically world championship tournaments, and it happened in the space of COVID. Okay?
Yes.
If you get a lot of people together to do a world championship event, and it's not the world championships, then what are we doing? Players' Cup teams should be qualified as world champions because it was a world event. Okay? I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me with this. I don't care. I think Colossal, give Colossal some credit. Give him his paid due. He won Players' Cup, he played. I swear he won multiple Players' Cup as well. It wasn't just the one.
He won 2, yeah.
It was like, yeah, so it's a 2-time Players' Cup winner. So technically, like, yeah, surely Colossal deserves that respect. Like, it's crazy to think that one little Aquajet in Colossal was the perfect Dynamax Pokemon.
Yep.
Literally the perfect Dynamax Pokemon.
Yep.
Aquajet. Oh, you got Follow Me? That's fine. I'll just use Surf with a physical type. Like, hardly anything. Weakness policy, off you go. +6 speed, +2 special attack. You're gone.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter who it was. Your Pokemon was a goner. And the fact that it could learn Solar Beam, as well as, I believe it learned Scald, if I remember. I can't remember exactly.
It did, yeah. It learned Scald.
Like, it learned numerous coverage moves in order to keep it alive. Like, yeah, I'll hit you with a ground move. That's fine. Colossal can still live it. Like, Colossal was a beast.
Yeah, it was
like I really It disappoints me. It really does.
It was like the perfectly designed Pokemon. It had like every move that it needed, plus one really, really great move, plus it benefited from the gimmick, plus every part of its design thematically makes sense. So they even thought like we need to make the perfect Pokemon, and they come up with Colossal. So I 100% agree. It should be counted as world champion because it did win 2 worldwide events. So like what?
Yeah,
that will help my Pokemon.
Also, like, yeah, and also like it's got a G-Max move, like.
Exactly.
It literally did everything you wanted in a team.
Yeah.
Like, no wonder the guy who won it first time round went undefeated. He didn't drop a single game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we're surprised by this. Like, it was the ultimate sweeper in Generation 8.
Do you
Absolute deserved to be a world champion.
So, this is really funny. I happen to be doing a little bit of research on this very subject for something I'm working on right now. And when I rewatched, funnily enough, it was Wolfclick's World Championship for his Players' Cup victory. He was using the Colossal team. And
oh yeah,
it was against a Regigigas Wheezing team, which was also just like such a really interesting.
I remember this.
You know, that totally like the fact that if we did count it as a world championship, right? If you count Colossal's world championship, it means that you have to count Wheezing and Regigigas as the runners up, and that is actually perfect in my mind. It's like the runner up to the like fill-in like fake like version of the world championships, and I just think that that's so perfect for Wheezing and Regigigas.
That's another thing, isn't it? Because like I want to say one of them had a Primarina, so it's like Primarina should be. You could easily say Primarina should be a world champion.
Yeah,
like because of the fact that it was alongside Colossal or Weavile or Sneasel, whatever you want to call it. Can you imagine Weavile not being a world champion? Sneasel is.
Yeah. Like there's certain Pokemon that you can understand. You know, like your Clefairies and your Dusclopses, but this would be a particularly funny one.
Wouldn't it? Absolutely. I think it would be hilarious just watching people be like, oh, I can't wait to use that world championship winning Pokemon. Sneasel.
Sneasel.
I had its fully evolved form.
I did at one point, I had I'm not going to go on a tangent with this, but it was like Sneasel next to, it was like beat up Sneasel next to Dynamax Virizion, but also, it was also Surf Sneasel next to Colossal, but it was also Surf Sneasel next to Water Absorb G-Max Lapras. So it had like 3 things going on. I was like, let's go.
All right.
I was Sneasel.
Oh, we're cooking.
Put in the work. It came to every game. It was definitely necessary.
That is quite disgusting, I'm not gonna lie. I don't like that. I did have a couple of honorable mentions in my head as well. Like I couldn't think. Obviously, Colossal was like number 1 for me.
Mm-hmm.
However, in the back of my mind, I did decide that I needed to mention 2 Pokemon, which I felt as though could have been, but at the end blew it. Charizard being one of them. You know, runner up in the one and only Gen 8 Worlds final. Like, Game Freak seems to be so, not desperate, but they seem to be very set on trying to make Charizard the best Pokemon ever.
That does seem to be the case, yes.
Right. You gave it Mega Charizards, 2 Mega forms, and it still couldn't do it. You give it a G-Max form, and it couldn't do it. You partnered it up next to a Groudon, couldn't do it. Like, everything you tried, it's not worked for Charizard. And, like, I think it says more about the Pokemon itself than, like, Game Freak.
Yeah.
I just don't think Charizard can do it. He won numerous regionals, he just couldn't get it done when it mattered.
For sure.
The other Pokemon I did want to mention just briefly was a Pokemon that got nerfed this generation, that being Regieleki.
Yes. Interesting.
Same situation with same as Charizard. You get the Dynamax format. It works like a charm. Like, Regieleki is ridiculously fast and hits ridiculously hard. However, of course, they've nerfed it now. so that's a problem. Like Reggie Alecki can't hit as hard, can't Dynamax as well, so it can't get that HP back. Like had an opportunity to become a world champion, literally switched in at that moment where the Reggie Alecki switched in to take an Earth Power to get a one-hit knockout. That was it. You knew it wasn't going to do it.
Nah.
You knew it couldn't be done.
That's such a shame.
Like, it is a massive. Imagine, like, because I think there isn't any Reggies that are currently world champions.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's any Reggies at all. Maybe Registeel. I feel like Registeel potentially.
Yeah. It might.
I do have the list up actually.
Back in the day. What do we got?
I don't see any Reggies.
Doesn't look like it. The stack's there, and I just love that. Stack is great. Definitely deserved world champion.
Again, it blew it, and it definitely had its moment. It could have done it. It could have. But yeah.
Actually, now I think about
I was gonna offer you. Oh, sorry, go for it.
So I was just thinking. I think that Registeel might have been on a Players' Cup winning team. I think it might have been on a Players' Cup 3 winning team or 4. Now that I think about it, so it might have got its glory there.
I mean, if it is, then yeah. I didn't really have time to go through all the Players' Cup
of course,
teams, unfortunately. But there's definitely something we could talk about next time. Players' Cup, was it a mistake? No.
Players' Cup, does it count?
Does it count? So I guess the only thing I wanted to quickly go through, just before we go through submissions, was actually I wanted to show you some teams that got second at Worlds, and just sort of show you the hilarity, if you will, of some of these second place teams having Pokemon, which, in all honesty, I did not think they would do it. And the fact that Nilly did it makes me giggle. So the first one that came into my mind. So again, here we are. So this is 2022's World Championships. There's the Reggie Alecki right there with the Charizard. Lost to Rillaboom and a Gastrodon. Which hilariously, it was the Gastrodon that knocked out the Reggie Alecki with an Earth Power, from what I remember. So, again, it had an opportunity, just couldn't do it. The same with Grim. Actually, Grimmsnarl, could have been a world champion.
Yeah.
And, with Regulation G just around the corner, Grimmsnarl, I think Grimmsnarl's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
To be on these, because if you think about it, especially when you're using quite vulnerable cover legendaries, you're gonna want something like Grimmsnarl to screen up Thunderwave things, Fake Tears, whatever, Sucker Punch, Spirit Break, everything. Literally, it could do a lot.
It's got so much.
Umbreon.
Yes!
Umbreon's the first one I want to talk about.
Yeah.
This was the last one of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, so 2019 in Washington. Umbreon finished second, however, did miss out to Primal Groudon was just doing too much damage, and the Stack Attacker actually with the body with the dangerous moves that was pumping up there. But yeah, Umbreon getting second, I thought was really credible. I thought that was a great sort of starting point for us to be like, yeah, no, this Pokemon nearly did it. This Pokemon nearly became a world champion.
Yeah.
It would have been lovely to watch, honestly. Next one I wanted to show you was Tapu Bulu.
Wait, when did that happen?
This was the year before. This was the year Paul Ruiz won it all with, I think, I want to say, Mega Salamence, Tapu Koko, Katana, with the Snorlax as well. I was so sad when this was not the world champion. I was like, Tapu Bulu is my favorite Tapu. Easily. And I was like, oh yeah, Tapu Bulu's got a chance to win it. And it's like, oh.
It beat out Feeny. It beat out Feeny of all other... Yeah. I see, obviously Coco was the play this year, but apparently, it kind of makes sense. If Tapu Koko is the play, then Bulu kind of is a bit of an answer for that, so I kind of get it, but the fact that it's just...
Right, also, can we just... can we just also appreciate the fact that it beat out an Amoonguss?
The real MVP.
Your rage powder is nothing compared to my rage powder. Says Tapu Bulu. Another one is Mandibus.
Whoa! Go on,
Mandibuzz got
Mandibuzz.
second.
Oh.
Which I do not remember this World Championships at all. But it's like Crocodile won it, Alola Marowak, 2 Tapus, not just one, 2 Tapus with Whimsicott and Celesteela. I legit do not remember this championships at all.
This
like,
is.
I was, yeah.
Is this
like what happened here?
Is it Disquake?
Oh, maybe actually.
Because it's got a flying type, a grass type, the electric with the ground type, and the lightning rod, the earthquake.
That is, yeah.
I think Disquake.
That's probably Disquake.
That I didn't know Disquake had actually won a world championship. I thought it was just kind of like a. Well, I knew it was kind of serious at one point, but you know when you just. I've tried it recently. It's not very good anymore. So, yeah, good on Disquake.
Good on them. What's the next one? Obviously, this year was the year of the Bronzon.
Oh yeah.
Literally, look at all those Bronzons. Absolutely ridiculous. I didn't really see any of that kind of. I mean, Mega Manectric is kind of crazy, if I'm honest. To be put into that sort of format team. But I felt as though it wasn't that wild when you thought about it. But yeah, Bronzon. The year of 2016 was definitely Bronzon.
I can't believe this year is solely responsible for the amount of Bronzon I see on the ladder every now and then. It must just be this 1 year.
So this is the one I really was sort of wanting to talk about. The amount of chances Aegislash had to win it and didn't.
It could have.
Like, I feel as though it should have.
I think was it a case of it being too hard countered? What do we got?
I think it's the Heatran.
Yeah, Heatran.
I think it was the Heatran.
Heatran Lando.
Like, because obviously, because I mean, look at it. Like Mega Kangaskhan, Landorus, Thundurus,
Scrappy,
Cresselia, just a good measure.
It's like, okay, what do we do about Aegislash, guys? Okay, so I've got a Scrappy.
We laugh.
A Scrappy Pokemon, a Ground Pokemon, a Prankster Pokemon, a Fire Pokemon, a Trick Room Pokemon, and also Aegislash just in case.
You know what it is? It's the sort of Mega Kangaskhan's like Aegislash is like, what you're gonna do, and Mega Kangaskhan is just laughing while punching it in the face repeatedly.
And getting like, super effective damage with like.
And it's like power up punch, power up punch, power up punch.
It's like, are you kidding me? This isn't even my baby's final form.
Literally, and it's just Aegislash is like the other Aegislash is like watching, and it's like, stop, it's already dead.
It's like trying to hit it back, but it's just getting wide guarded out of the way. Like great, it's like the opponent's Groudon's like, he's like, come on, Groudon, do something. And it's like, nah,
do something.
Can't do nothing.
This one, so when on 2014 now, I thought Lucario was kind of wild.
Yeah.
And again, Charizard had a chance and lost out to Talonflame.
So funny. Show me the original Fire Flying type. No, I mean the real Fire Flying type.
No, I meant the real Fire Flying type.
Perfection. Does get Gale Wings?
Yes, obviously, yeah. So this was before Talonflame obviously got nerfed with Gale Wings. Charizard, again, like 2 chances Charizard had to become world champion.
Yeah.
And Rotom Mow, which is kind of wild.
Charizard gets in. And also Rotom Mow. Oh.
Hello.
Yeah.
just hear the lawnmower starting up, and everyone's like, "Oh, here we go."
I see it as Charizard must have been pulling some serious weight. Everyone else sees it as cringe by association. So.
I like that. Just turn up. Oh, look, it's cringe by association.
Yeah, Charizard's like.
It's just a single tear from Charizard. This one, so this was 2013. Fun fact: this is the first World Championships I ever watched live. Through Pokemon's YouTube channel. I didn't see anything wild in this one. I thought every team kind of looked at that time like very viable.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you look at this final, it's literally just, no, that's actually pretty good from what we're looking at. Obviously, I think a lot of people remember this one as the Spore final, because Arash literally, he just spammed Amoonguss' Spore and pretty much put all of his Pokemon to sleep. So the crowd the crowd were apparently getting quite miffed. And they kept chanting "Wake up, wake up" because they wanted to see a Pokemon battle.
Oh,
But it was literally just a Mungus Spore Fest.
I do kind of get that.
Yeah, a lot of people got annoyed. I get it. I do get it because you're like, you want to see two top players battling it out, and it's literally just my only strategy is to put you to sleep and hope for the best. But if you win Worlds for it, you win Worlds for it. Like, you know, I don't think at Worlds you have any opportunity to just be nice about things, right?
I just imagining Irash on stage like, you would have done it too if it was in my position. You would have done it too.
You would have been me.
You would have done it.
You would have done it if you were in my shoes.
You don't even. Done.
Just Charizard's holding his cigar. Just like just a room full of people trying to like, you know, try to criticize it. Charizard's just puffing away, just being like, "You try and do what I did."
Yeah, you weren't there, man. You weren't getting spored. You
were getting spored.
You didn't see how fast that mushroom was, man.
Just anyway, buy my book. So the next one, Executor. Wolf Glick's very famous Executor.
Excellent.
This one doesn't need explaining. If I'm on, I think Wolf Glick made a video on this anyway. Before losing to Ray Rizzo, which honestly I'm not surprised because when you see the Hydreigon and the T-Tar that could deal with Executor.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, honestly. Yeah. This one was interesting because of Electros. I thought, wow, somebody actually used Electros, like Disquake.
Dude, probably. I'm not gonna lie, that's Disquake again, isn't it?
It has to be Disquake, but the fact that Ray Rizzo won it with Escavalier as well. Oh yeah, obviously the Thunderous Tornadus pairing as well is kind of humorous. What this screams to me as well is like, I do love the fact that when we look at this list and there's no Lando, like obviously it's only got top 8. But just in the back of my mind thinking, Lando wasn't very good, was it? Like at the beginning, did no one like Lando? Was there something wrong with Lando? Did it not get the tools it needed?
Is it
like the powerhouse we see today?
It mustn't. I don't know. Do you have the answer?
I reckon it. Yeah, I generally have no answer to this yet. I'm gonna look it up though, because I'm in the back of my mind. I'm thinking, it didn't get stuff like Sludge Bomb. It got Psychic, but considering the amount of Hydreigons running around, I don't think it bothered. And plus, Levitate is a big deal, right?
Yeah, I mean,
something to think about.
That's an interesting point. Do you think it might be? Is it not like the form changes? Like it didn't have Sheer Force yet, so Sand Force was its only option, and it just wasn't viable because Sand wasn't good.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So
I mean, if you think about it, this is the literally the year Black and White came out.
So they probably
this is the first circuit of Black and White,
and there's no T-Tar in this game, so they couldn't use. There was no Sand Abuser really, so they probably didn't have that tech. And then the year after, I'm not sure, but
is when you see T-Tar Metagross.
Actually,
no, there's no Landorus is there either.
Still no Lando.
Fascination.
Is it that they don't have
fascinating.
They don't have the Black and White. The Black and White, Black 2, White 2 is when they get this form. There you go. Now they're like, Intimidate is broken, and then they suddenly realise.
With Aaron Zane's missing Will-O-Wisp.
Oh no.
The legendary Will-O-Wisp misses.
Legendary.
It is fascinating though. I don't remember this at all, if I'm honest with you. However, I do love the fact that don't worry, we've got Torn Lando at home. Torn Lando is Crocodile.
I mean, I think it's funny. Obviously, the Intimidate ground type was good because it's there. The Intimidate and the ground type, and then when they gave it to Lando, they were just like, "Oh yeah, screw you, Crocodile. This is Lando at home."
Literally, like this is my Lando at home.
Yeah.
Like Crocodile's like, oh shut.
I actually really every now and then I see Crocodile and I look at it as a Pokemon. I think you should be so good. You could be so good. And then I just remember that there are like a bunch of Pokemon that all do its job just a little bit better than it does. It's quite sad.
Yeah.
It's one of
It's
those
so
guys.
sad.
One of
It's
those
so sad.
poor old crocodile.
Oh, poor old crook. And especially with Clear Amulet now, it's like, oh, great, right. So
Yeah.
Intimidate's not really going to work for you either.
Yeah.
So now there's 2 more to go. So there's 2010 here, which I saw Infernape here.
Ooh, nice.
Which I was like, hello. Infernape on a Palkia Kyogre Rain team. Which I thought was a bit wild.
Is it?
I had not quite understanding why, if I'm honest. Especially when you got T-Tar there as well. Like, this team in general just makes me kind of like a bit confused.
That is strange. Is it? I think that this guy just invented the Firewater Grass core.
Mate, oh, hello. Okay,
I think they're just
I
the
can get on
only
board with
one with a. Oh wait, no, yeah, they're the only one with a Firewater Grass. They just invented it by mistake. They were like, you know what? I should put a fire type on this team. Then I've got Firewater and Grass type. Yeah. But
he's like, Infernape is my favorite starter. Like, he needs to stay.
Yeah. He was like, you know, I've got 2 weather, and I've got discount Ogerpon. I need a fire type. There we go.
Discount Ogerpon.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, right? Because if he was to go sand mode, then the fire type probably really helps. Because if they try and switch in something to resist like a rock, I don't know what that. Oh, like steel types. Oh, there you go. It deals with the steel types really well. Because the steel types would be in a bit of trouble for.
The amount of Dialgas.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, when you mention discounted Ogerpon, it's in my head. It's Ogerpon and Ludicolo meet for the first time. Ogerpon's like, so what are you? And Ludicolo's like, I'm you, but I dance more.
Yeah, I'm you, but fun.
I just El Nombre.
I just couldn't help but realise that most of those teams had 3 restricted Pokemon on them. Except for one of them that didn't.
Yeah, this must have been a wild format.
What? When did this happen?
I've not. So this was 2010.
One guy actually said Rotom Mo
in
over
Hawaii.
Dragon type, by the way. They had a Rotom Mo instead of a Dragon type on their team.
That's wild. Also, can we just appreciate Parasect being in the top 8?
I didn't even see that. What a legend.
Parasect in the top. Is that chlorophyll Parasect?
Does it get that?
Is that a thing? I wonder if I don't know if it does get that actually.
Well, it gets Spore, doesn't it? So it is kind of like a good Pokemon.
Paris is not.
No.
Paris is not in Gen 9, is it? No.
No.
Paris, Effect Spore, Dry Skin, Damp.
Maybe it was to stop.
So what is that? This was Gen 4. Did it get Rage Powder?
Well, the only good
Rage Powder wasn't a move then, was it?
In Gen 5, I think Rage Powder became a thing. Do you think it was like a proper teched on thing? Like it was because it gets damp. It's like a spore Pokemon, and because there might have been a lot of explosion, they just prevented explosion and then like spored the Pokemon to get it to sleep.
Maybe. I really don't know.
That'd be an interesting tech.
I mean, I would be honestly if they came forward and they said, "By the way, my Parasect was Dry Skin," I'd be like, "Then why the hell did you put it with a ground on?"
Yeah, no Kyogre. Oh, it could have been like the Kyogre matchup. That would have been quite weird. Like if it was like if Trick Room Kyogre is a thing, it looks like it could have been a thing. Cresselia Kyogre is on a team there. It's possible it could have just been a good Trick Room Kyogre answer. Because it could have just It basically possibly. It's just Moongus before Moongus.
I'm you but better.
Yeah, Moongus is like good job, but I'm actually a real mushroom, not just a mushroom taking over.
I'm actually going to win worlds like quite a few times. Parasect's like you're right. So the final one I wanted to bring to your attention, which I thought was really fun, Shedinja.
Oh yeah, that sounds like
very first worlds, Yanmega and Shedinja.
Yanmega.
Nino Pokebros is literally screaming with joy by looking at this image.
They had some competition.
That's what he should do. Like that's what he should do. He should literally like next regional he goes to, take this 6. If you can't use Paladin or Rhyperior, we'll find replacements.
At the moment, I think the only one you can't use is Shedinja. So if they add Shedinja into the game, It probably would work because you just terrestrialize
Oh my god.
Shedinja every time.
Turn up, right? Turn up to the regional with your copy of Sword and Shield instead of Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
And just say, like,
ready to play.
that means I win then,
Yeah.
right?
No one,
If I'm the only one who turned up with it,
they simply could not compete.
surely that means I'm the winner. They could not compete.
No one could beat me.
It was too great. It was too strong. We had to cancel the entire tournament. Like, also shout out to Grace Beck actually for using an all water type team.
Oh, what a
which
legend.
I think is really, really cool.
Back in the day.
Like, back in the day, Politoed Kingdra, like, eat your heart out.
The one guy that brings Kingdra to the matchup, and he's like, well, your team's kind of like doing my whole team's thing, but just with Kingdra, really, isn't it? It just knocks out everyone.
Can you imagine, like, you know, a young Charlie sitting down and watching Kingdra in action, like, at Worlds, and just thinking, one day I'm going to brag about this on an actual official Pokemon live stream in London during EUIC. And they will listen to me.
No. The power.
It's like, just starts turning into a Super Saiyan.
Super Charlie, that's what.
Actually, no, it shouldn't be Super Saiyan, should it? It should be morphing into a Kingdra. Yeah, I don't see why not.
I think Charlie
but
is
anyway,
the king
right.
among Kingdra.
Charlie is the Kingdra. There is no exception. However, I do remember he posted randomly. He brought a Kakuna plush.
Pretty cool.
No context. He literally just posted an image saying, "I brought a Kakuna," and I remember replying, being like, "Any reason?" He was like, "Looked alright."
To be fair, yeah, it's an interesting pick.
Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, all right." I'll give you that. Right, so let's go through then the 4 Pokemon that our community have sent in to us. I don't know if you just want to take a couple each. So like you say one, I'll say one.
Yeah, or if you'd like,
and then we'll.
What we could do, if you want to read them out, I'll see if I can argue why I think they're awful, and you can defend them. Or
okay, yeah, that's fine. So
sounds
we
good.
should have got costumes. Be the devil on his shoulder and the angel on the other.
That'd be.
Right.
Yeah, this is what we'll do. We'll do it for the future. These are future plans.
We'll do it for the future.
Right.
Future plans. Right. So people in chat and people listening to this, just to go through it one last time. Last week we asked the question, what Pokemon should have been a world champion but hasn't? 4 people have submitted their Pokemon of choice. I believe still Rising Raichu is going to join us at some point.
I'll DM them
if
now,
not,
actually.
we'll just go for it for them. Yeah, just see if they're around. And we collectively talk about whether that Pokemon is right or wrong in our choices. And then at the end of it, we will crown one Pokemon to be the Pokemon who should be a world champion or not. So the first Pokemon on this list is from Simipour. So I don't know, Barrett, if you wanted me just to say what Simipour wrote first before we make our arguments, or whether to put Simipour's after we make.
So perhaps we should say if you read out what Simipour wrote, and then we'll see what the chat thinks, and then I will give my. How about that? How about this? If you say what Simipour thinks, I will rebuttal, and then we'll see what the chat thinks, and then we'll move on to the next one.
And then we'll take it from there. Okay, cool. Right. So the first Pokemon is actually a Pokemon which I believe we've seen it become a runner-up a couple of times, and is actually a Pokemon that relatively does really well at regionals. It's just it doesn't seem to push over the line when it comes to Worlds. Whether that's a Pokemon problem or whether that's the Pokemon problem in general. However, the first Pokemon on discussion tonight is Arcanine. Which when you sent me this, when I was reading this, I was like, oh my god, of course. Like, if my head wasn't so full of colossal thoughts, which is a brilliant pun, by the way, I was like, yeah, colossal. Sorry, Arcanine. We could have talked about that for ages. So, this is what Simipour has to say about Arcanine. Arcanine has always been a great Pokemon in the regional dex formats, like in 2017. Its Hisuian form has also had decent usage. If 2020 Worlds happened, or 2023 had been regional decks, it would have had a good chance to win Worlds. Barrett, now explain why it isn't.
Okay, right, so I think they make an interesting point, okay? So they say Arcanine's always been good in regional dex formats, which it tends to be. It's a Pokemon that, you know, it kind of does the role that Incineroar does. So when Incineroar's not available, it tends to be used. And I can understand why people would want to do that. But can we really say that a cheap imitation version of the real thing could ever be a world champion? Could we really say that a Pokemon like this, Arcanine, fluffy doggo-like as it may be, you know, has only won 30 regional and has only made $267,000 for trainers that have used it. To be honest, quite frankly, it's poor. And I don't think a poor Pokemon could win the World Championship. So, I don't know, guys. Well, I don't know what the chat thinks, but I think I've pretty much sorted it out. Cheap knockoff. And
I love, you are so committed. You are so committed. I love it. Like, it's only 130. It's only 130, guys.
30? You should see some other numbers. Come on. 30. As according to far back as Limitless of the Limitless.
No, I actually think Simipour is completely on the ball with this. I think Arcanine has a very decent shout to become a world champion and probably should have. I can't remember. Hisuian Arcanine, especially in the last year, has won in, I want to say, like, was it Regulation D? I want to say it might have been Regulation D or E, but Hisuian Arcanine won every single regional except for one in the format that it was introduced in.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous. Like, no Pokemon has ever done that. Like, you know, obviously the big boys maybe, but like, when you look at something like Arcanine, it's honestly, it is such a player. Like, it could do everything. It could, you know, become a support act. It become, you know, a full actual, you know, Sonic choice bandit, go into battle, like, destroy everything in sight kind of Pokemon. It's ridiculous, like, the amount of things you can do with Arcanine. And yes, like, you've pretty much mentioned it yourself. Like, it has won over 30 regionals for a reason. The fact that it's got Snarl, it's got the Intimidate, you know, it's got numerous moves, extreme speed, for example. You can't see Incineroar. However, obviously, when the lads come along, like as we now have, you know, proclaimed, the lads being Rillaboom, Incineroar, Urshifu, like, I think there was one more, wasn't there? There was 4 in the lads.
It was Iron Hands is one of the lads. The lads
Iron Hands.
The lads is an eclectic group of professionals who all do their jobs very, very well, but they also like to go out on the weekend.
Oh, they go absolutely hammered. Like,
yes, they do.
Like, you see him in the pub being like, "Oi, mate, like, you're not gonna believe it. Arcanine thought you could beat me again."
Oh yeah, mate. I will say Arcanine is a bit of an honorary lad. I think that, I mean, he is good. He is good doggo, isn't it? I have to admit.
Yeah, I think Arcanine is an actual really strong shout.
Yeah, I think it could.
And I do have to agree with Simipour. Like, I think, obviously we'll go on like with the other 3, but I feel like we will be going back round to the conversation of if the format didn't change when it did, it could have had a good chance of winning.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like there is another Pokemon which we will discuss that potentially has the same bracket, and a potential rant incoming from us both. Who knows? But no, at the meantime, I think Simipour's Arcanine has a very I would give it quite favourably to be the Pokemon at the moment. But we'll have to see what the other 3 Pokemon have to say. So we've heard Arcanine from Simipour. Now we're going to hear I'm assuming Rising Raichu hasn't replied back yet.
Not quite. No, I'm waiting on their reply, so they may come in later.
Okay, we'll go back to Rising Raichu just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, this is the other Pokemon. So we're going to talk. Geordie sent in a submission for us. Geordie would like us to discuss about the potential Palafin being the Pokemon that should have been a world champion but isn't. Which I think is quite an interesting one to talk about. So this is what Geordie wrote. Okay, so Geordie submitted Palafin to be their Pokemon of choice because Palafin was doing quite well in the early formats. It was quite strong, obviously with its hero form and its Jet Punch, literally punching everything in its way. Geordie mentioned as well that if Pokemon didn't change the rule set before Worlds, we could have actually seen a really strong chance for Palafin to become a world champion. Because, of course, when Home was actually released, so too was the likes of Landorus and Urshifu, which, of course, as soon as you bring Urshifu's going to become the most used water type, probably, considering it could go through Protect and all of that jazz, which, yeah. This is something we discussed earlier, and I do feel as though we could address it again. The Pokemon Company this generation has been completely blind when it comes to rule sets. Like, Asia has to go through 2 more months of Regulation F before Regulation G actually happens for them. Mm-hmm. Last year completely should have been the just normal decks to see who would actually become world champion. It's been sucky. It has been a bit sucky for Palafin, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, a bit unfair.
But Barrett, what's your arguments about it not being a world champion? You could just say Urshifu.
Well, I mean, I kind of find myself a little bit inclined to say that I kind of I have to agree that Palafin definitely got completely snubbed in the sense that it was definitely going to be the world champion of last year, and then it just got completely taken over. But if I was going to argue against it, I would say that the way that Reg C and B were really forming out with Palafin, I think that the Pala Balance core was so good that it would have ended up becoming the big 6 of this format, or like that type of team where everyone is like, oh, this team is so dominating, and it doesn't actually end up winning because it ends up being hard countered by anything. It's like the Palafin Balance was like the Rinnia Sun of 2022. So like, I think that it had that blockade in the way. So although it definitely deserves to be world champion, I don't necessarily think it would have been a world champion for those reasons.
I do have to agree with you on that. I think as much as us to say, oh, Palafin's really good, Palafin hits a lot harder. Guess what else was still around? Dondozo Tatsugiri. Mm-hmm. Like, Dondozo Tatsugiri was still probably the biggest threat going, like, last year. Palafin was still really good, but Tatsugiri Dondozo was still around. Now, are we saying Tatsugiri Dondozo would have won Worlds? Absolutely not, because there was still various team compositions into, like, various team forms that was really strong, did really well last year. It's just Tatsugiri Dondozo was one of the biggest threats. And Palafin, unless you're going to Terra Grass it, that's the only chance you have against that. Like, in all honesty, if we're completely honest, because Palafin's moveset is very limited. Like, considering how powerful it hits, it's still very limited in what it can do. Right? I think it's either big or go home.
I think that the Gastrodon was really good at that time for specifically that reason. And it was good against Dondozo as well, so it really helped counter those two things. So I think that might have ended up becoming. And how many world champion Gastrodons do we really need? I mean, I don't think anyone's going to argue that. So it's
how many slugs does one want?
Yeah, there's so many championship slugs. So I think in the sense that it's too many slugs. I think that it might have ended up being. I mean, let's say maybe an example that. Gastrodon and then maybe Chi-Yu Fluttermane, it might have ended up kind of creeping up there. You still had... I think the Palafin was keeping Chien-Pao in check quite well back then, but then Chien-Pao helped Palafin as well, and it helped Urshifu even more. So I think it had a bit of a thing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, interesting. I like that. That's an interesting thought. I do believe it should have won, but maybe next year they'll just release Palafin into well, not next year, but they'll release Palafin in like the Reg D of Gen 10, and it will dominate that one, like Urshifu dominated this one, so that because it did get its chance in Gen 8. So yeah.
Oh my god, would it then turn into like a compensation deal, like for Palafin?
You never win in your generation.
Just like, look, we know bad things happen to you, so we're gonna let you have your moment. And if you lose worlds, we're deleting you.
Yeah. There's gonna be like a new Gen 10's gonna have this like new amazing, like, it's not just a hero, it's like everyone loves it. It's a fire type, and it's like the best fire type in the format, and then they're just like, just before first World Championship of Reg 10, guys, don't worry, Palafin's back. And everyone's like, no, they ruined Palafin becomes the evil one.
Yeah, it's like they make like a whole promo package for Palafin coming back.
Dark Palafin.
You know, it's just a it's like in a world
where Urshifu
in a world
it's
where
like
heroes.
Palafin started out a hero, but it went evil because of Urshifu, and now we're in the next generation. It will be a villain again. It will be the villain like Urshifu was. Its world was destroyed.
You have literally just reminded me of the card they released for Palafin.
Epic spooky card.
It literally just post this photo. That's all they have to do. Just post this photo of Palafin. Like that is evil intentions, Palafin. That is I'm the Dark Knight of the Pokemon universe.
That really was it.
Where is she? Where are the Corsolas?
What do you want from me?
What do you want? What do you want?
Tiggerton's like, excuse me? Hello? Have you got some kind of problem with your voice? You seem to have some...
Mr. Mime becomes Joker.
Yeah, serious problem.
There's no loss against the Pokemon.
You know how I got these screens?
Do you know where I got these screens from, Palafin?
That is actually a very good point, yeah, because it does get Brick Break. It would destroy Joker.
Oh, yeah. Like, Palafin is Batman. You've got Mr. Mime as the Joker. Conkelder as Bane.
I like that. That's kind of cool.
Right? Oh, we should do that. We should totally have an episode where we're just like, who would be who in the Batman universe?
I don't want to side... I promise I will not side tangent too much. But this might be an interesting time to side tangent to let people know that we obviously live streaming on Twitch right now, and that there is a chance that at one point we'll push for affiliate. So if we do that, let us know what we might be doing in the meantime. That'll be an interesting thing to do. We need to fill up a few extra streams a month to hit that affiliate mark. So if you guys have got anything like, you know, if you guys want to make a Batman team with Palafin and Mr. Mime, we'll try and bring it on the ladder or something. You know, let us know. It'll be interesting to see.
Where is he? Where are the screens?
Where's the paste? Give me the paste.
Where's the paste? Where's my open team sheet?
Except team sheet. It's like Joker always rejects open team sheet.
Do you think I'm simply going to give you your open team sheet back? Anyway.
Okay.
What? So, third Pokemon out the fourth is Joshams.
Yes.
Oh, Josh M&S.
Sorry. M&S.
Joshams. I love the fact we asked him if he was sponsored by M&S. He's like, not yet.
Not yet. He's working on it.
He's working on it. He has chosen Xerneas. Which we kind of discussed about this at the end of last week. During our like after show mini party, if you will. Yeah, Xerneas is kind of... It's kind of shocking to me how Xerneas isn't actually a world champion yet. Geomancy Power Herb is ridiculous. And considering Fairy Aura boosts Fairy moves, so then you've got a +2 Xerneas with, you know, Fairy Aura, Dazzling Gleam, or Moonblaster one, it
Mm.
hits like a truck. Like, and especially during like Dynamax format as well. You know, it was one-shotting Amoonguss during Max Starfall. It was one-shotting Amoonguss. That's how disgustingly strong it was.
That's pretty
But then,
disgusting.
yeah, just it died. It seems to die, like, you know, sorry, seems to go down very quickly in usage for some reason. I was trying to look and see how well it did during, you know, obviously the Worlds that it was legal. And the only time I saw it ever doing quite well was the year of the Umbreon, 2019, where it finished third with James Beck, with the Kartana and the Primal Kyogre. Unless, did I miss it out here? No, I didn't. No, it didn't really. Yeah, like the only time it was ever legal in Dynamax was never. Oh, thank you, honey. Yeah, I was sorry. I was just mentioning my other half gave me a Kit Kat. Bless.
The weekly Kit Kat.
The weekly Kit Kat.
The Kit Kat delivery. Guys.
Like literally the only time that it's ever seemed to have gotten close to winning a Worlds is, well, it finished fourth in 2016. So this is the last of X and Y. And 2019, where it finished third again, and then just literally the only year Dynamax was a thing, just didn't.
Nothing.
Nobody used it.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I could argue,
and I think it's because of Tapu Fini, which is weird actually in a way, because surely Tapu Fini would have actually helped it, like a lot, considering Misty Terrain prevents it from getting burnt or thunder waved and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it was just it had the similar situation as the Palafin thing, where it is so obviously really good, and at some point I think it was probably dominating the meta, and then it became hard countered. The Dynamax format totally makes sense. I could totally just say, like, you know, once everybody was picking up Zacian and the Zacian teams got really, really good, then you just couldn't use it anymore. It's just like wasn't viable. Even in the double, I mean, I think it was again in Series 10 it was pretty good, and I think it was used a little bit in Series 8 and 11. But when it hit Series 12, nothing.
Gone. So, no, I completely forgot about Zacian, and considering this was a Zacian where it wasn't nerfed, like, and it did double damage with Behemoth Blade to a Dynamax Pokemon. If you've not got Follow Me or any form of redirection, you are screwed. Xerneas never lives that. I'm pretty sure someone calced it to be like max HP, max defense Xerneas would still get O-code by a Zacian with like the tiniest bit of attack investment. Like, because it's always going to get the +1. Always going to get that +1.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing you could do about it. Absolute nothing. I do agree with you. I do agree with you.
You tend to see a lot of Xerneas was next to Amoonguss quite a lot, and Amoonguss isn't actually in this. It wasn't that popular in 2022, especially at Worlds. I think that once we hit the kind of Charizard popularity, started peaking out around Worlds, and everyone was G-Max Charizard. So if you had a team with Zacian and G-Max Charizard on it, the whole Xerneas team goes away because you don't even have to Dynamax Zacian. So even if they redirect, if you protect turn 1 and then you get the Wildfire off into their Amoonguss, then like that's it, game over.
No, you're completely right. Because the actual gimmick of Dynamax really hindered a lot of Pokemon that would used to be before that time had a lot of usage and were like really good at redirection.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Amoonguss. Another Pokemon I would say is Aegislash. Because like Aegislash with King Shield is supposed to block stuff. It can't with Dynamax. So Aegislash is literally a sitting duck, basically, which is such a shame. But yes, like, I'm not surprised that Amoonguss didn't get much usage in Series. To be fair, why would you? Like, unless you had a hard Trick Room team that could deal with it, but then there was Pokemon that could still deal with that. I mean, I was running around with Pincurchin in you know, Sword and Shield, because at the time it had Rising Voltage, you know, Electric Terrain, like slower than Amoonguss, by the way. Amoonguss wouldn't do it. Amoonguss couldn't do anything. Absolute nothing. Which is why you see a lot of people more favouring towards Yveltal.
Yeah, I did.
Because of the fact that it can snarl, the fact that it's got foul play, like Oblivion Wing recovers HP. Yeah, it kind of did feel as though Xerneas is very much a pony. It is super strong, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about Xerneas that puts people off. There is other Pokemon that does its job better, which is it's just a shame. But then again, that's the way life works, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. So I think the last one that we had written in today was Rising Raichu. Unfortunately, I haven't managed to contact us back. So should we read out their what they wrote? And I mean, honestly, I think it's probably one of the best ones we could have kept for now. So let's see what he
I
says.
just read it myself. So Rising Raichu picked Corviknight. Unironically. I feel like that has to be stated.
Yes.
So, reason why Rising Raichu picked Corviknight, they wrote, it's actually really good. Mirror Armor is great into and Arcanine and stat debuffs in general. Inbuilt healing through Roost. Soft Tailwind Setter. Actually does a lot of damage through Ironhead and Brave Bird. And in brackets, we've written Oko's a Flutter and does 90% to a Rillaboom. Can also run the Iron Defense Body Press set if you want to be more passive. Decent stats and bulks. Can be fit into any Fairy, Dragon, Steel core. I think that's a valid argument.
Pretty good argument, yeah.
Yeah, I think Corviknight's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it is a Pokemon that could do a lot of things. And obviously, we're really grateful for that because obviously, we're more grateful that Corviknight exists.
Yeah.
If we're honest, like our bird, he is our bird. Our bird. But my initial thoughts with Corviknight is it can do its job and it can be really good. I feel as though at the moment there are too many problems. There's too many threats. And I don't think it's going to improve in Regulation G. Especially when Groudon's back.
Yeah.
Like, because it's going to just boost other people's offensive moves. Chi-Yu, potentially. I mean, obviously we haven't seen... Chi-Yu's another one which actually, like, we haven't seen much of recently.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising to me. But, I don't know. Maybe we'll see a usage of that. I like Corviknight a lot. I think Corviknight is a fantastic Pokemon. But yes, there is just something about it which kind of makes me think you would need a lot of things to go your way in order for Corviknight to be a champion anytime soon in this generation. Again, if the format's changed and we had like the similar thing with Palafin and Arcanine, potentially. More than potentially. But with the Paradox Mons running around, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a struggle for me. I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, I think, if I were to... I don't really want to go out here and not defend Corviknight, of course. Let me see how poor it is, 1 minute.
Let me see how poor it is. Check his bank account. 14,500, 14,500. It's not making any P for no one. I think it's, you know what? I'll give Corviknight credit. It, as a Pokemon that is relatively new, not like the newest, but relatively new. It hasn't had that many times to shine, and it does probably... Well, I have a feeling it might suffer from the opposite scenario of some of the other Pokemon we talked about, which is that it's not that it needs like a regional format to do well. I think that it might do well in certain restricted Pokemon format. I was building a team the other day, and it had... What's it called? It was like a slow Kyogre team, and I was racking my brain trying to think, like, this team needs a Pokemon that fits this exact type synergy to make it completely even across the board, and Corviknight was that Pokemon because it had the right typing for that type of team. It was, it had all of the utility it needed. It does have those things going for it. It just doesn't seem to do enough of the one thing that it's trying to do for it to be worth it. So, as like I said, I think Corviknight's really great. I think it probably could do something sometime,
But it needs its time to shine. So I'll give it that. But don't think it's going to be a world champion anytime soon. But I'd like to be wrong. I'd like to be wrong.
Yeah, I would love to be wrong as well, but I'm in the same boat as you. I can't see it happening anytime soon. Obviously, I would love it to happen soon because then we could like plug it on Twitter and just be absolutely nuts, being like, "Yeah, we picked the bird that was going to win the worlds." Like,
Yep.
can you imagine if we were like, "Oh yeah, we're the London Talonflames" or something?
Yeah.
It's the only one that won worlds.
Change our name afterwards to be like, oh,
Just have a subdivision called the London Charizards because we always finish second.
Oh. Always the bridesmaid.
Yeah, no, yeah, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I do agree with you. I think it sucks. Basically, I think Corviknight can become a world champion. It's just at the moment there has to be so many things to go its way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like Chen Pao dropping, defenses. Just the amount of sheer power creep that's going on right now as well. Like it's mental. It looks a bit too much. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would love to see it like maybe Gen 10. If it comes back in Gen 10, which I really think it should, because it's Corviknight. But also it is a great regional bird. Actually, no, sorry. If we think about it, Gen 8 it completely had nothing.
Yeah.
Like
it really had nothing.
Are you telling me? Yeah, it's like G-Max Wind Fury or whatever it had.
Yeah.
Like was going to be viable. It was like, oh yeah, no, it gets rid of all the stones and all the toxic spikes. It's like, but nobody did that.
They made
like, I don't know.
They made Colossal and said the VGC guys are going to love this, and then they made Corviknight and they said the singles guys are going to love this, and the singles guys were like, we ban Dynamax. And they were like, no, please.
Yeah, literally.
I made it for
Dynamax is too OP.
It's too good. I think
it's too good.
Do you know what? I was going to say like, yeah, a Pokemon with like these stats wouldn't be a world champion, but it's like got the best stat spread really. Like that's just really, really good.
It's a shame,
yeah,
basically. But like, yeah, Corviknight, which is also a shame because its G-Max form looked so cool.
Oh yeah,
like G-Max Corviknight was awesome to look at, especially its shiny form.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, it had nothing. And again, yeah, the singles guys were like, oh, it's so good. You just don't know. It's like, yeah, we played doubles for a reason. Like, we're not here for like, it doesn't take us 6 months to get through one match. Like, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But yes, so I think it's a shame, but I can't see it being. I as much as I admit, I think Corviknight in terms of first to last, I have to put Corviknight at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like out of the four, which is a shame.
Well.
So yeah, what's your feeling then? What do you think is out of those four? Who is most likely to be deserving of the title of should have been world champion?
Well, should have been a world champion. I would have to say, I personally think I'd have to give it to Palafin. I think it got shafted. I think it was going to win. I think it's just a shame. So I gotta choose Palafin. What do you think, Alex? What do you think?
I have to go Arcanine. Just simply because it's had multiple generations to do this, and it seems as though every time something goes wrong, like whether it's the Pokemon or whether it's the Pokemon Company doing something stupid, like I think Arcanine just seems to be the most unluckiest doggo in the world.
Yes.
And I feel as though at some point in the future we will say Arcanine world champion. Like, it's going to happen. Whether the Pokemon Company likes it or not, they just keep giving it things to make it work better. Whether it's a clear amulet or a safety goggles or a move, like, it keeps getting stuff that Arcanine can work with. If you don't want Arcanine to succeed, stop giving it things, basically.
Yeah, for real. I think it got so many tools. I think it's really interesting that it's a Gen 1 Pokemon. So it's supposed to suffer from the Gen 1 thing. You know, like how Charizard is kind of a little bit like that as well, where it's like the physical and it's got too much physical and special attack. But for Arcanine specifically, it works really, really well because you can run Snarl, or you could do like you could run a special set and it makes sense, it works, or you can run physical set. All of its abilities work really well. I think they're all viable. I mean, the beat up justified strat is a bit niche, but I mean I remember it being a thing at one point. So it worked in Dynamax. So there we go.
I know, and it worked against me too. Like, I remember you used that against me, and I was like, "Oh my god, it gets justified."
Yeah, it's like whimsical. Oh, it didn't intimidate me. What? Oh no, what's happening?
Literally, I was like, "Oh, for God's sake, I just fell for it." Like, yeah, ridiculous. I hated it so much. But yes, it's going to happen. Arcanine is going to become a world champion at some point, and I do agree with you though. I do think Palafin did get absolutely just slapped to the side. It was like, oh, Palafin, you've done. It's the hard worker at a company.
Yes.
And they're like, we want to reward you by giving you a holiday when it mattered the most because Urshifu's going to take over now.
Yeah.
And Palafin's like, but I'm doing such a good job. And they're like, yeah, but Urshifu's going to do it now.
Yeah, thanks for
like, you've done well. Don't get me wrong. Thank you very much for all the hard work you've done. And it's like, what's that joke in The Simpsons? Where it's like, Milhouse's dad gets fired from the factory or something.
When he goes, well, it's 20 years of good service and that's it, just so long, good luck. Oh, I don't recall saying good luck.
I don't remember wishing you luck. That's literally Palafin and Urshifu.
That's so true. That's so true.
Urshifu's like, I don't remember wishing you luck.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Oh, poor guy.
It's true though. It's so true. I feel so sorry for Palafin.
He also lost his seat at the table, the lads' table. So
Didn't
there
he?
you go. Shame.
Oh, Palafin! Like Urshifu literally stole everything.
He did. He took everything
from
me.
Like he took everything from me.
He took everything from me.
Now we have to figure out which Batman character Urshifu is.
So,
right.
As we had 4 great options. We need to let the people vote. Unfortunately, I can't make the poll because Twitch is being a nuisance. But I would be making a Twitch poll right now. But if we could make some form of poll...
I'll tell you what we should do. What we could do is just ask Discord afterward.
We should ask Discord.
And we can announce the winner next week. Arcanine versus Palafin.
Sounds good, guys. Make sure... If you are watching this and you aren't a member of the Discord community, make sure you jump in and become a member so you can vote. Or if you are, but you want to help us out on the YouTube side, then give us a comment and let us know what your vote is going to be there.
Share and subscribe.
Yeah, we didn't do the big plug last time. We have to do the big plug.
No, we didn't.
But yes.
So I was watching somebody talk about it. Actually, they were like, "Oh yeah," as soon as I said like, share, subscribe, like the numbers went up. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it actually does. I'm not going to lie.
That's really what we should be doing.
I used to be like, I'm not going to do it. Now I'm like, oh, thanks for letting me know. I'm actually too busy to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe. There you go. And drop a comment.
Drop a comment, please.
Literally any comment.
Yeah.
As long as it's not rude. We would like to... tell us what you had for breakfast. How about that?
Question of the day.
If you tell us, if you generally write in the comment section what you had for breakfast, we know you've watched the video.
There you go. You know, we got all the way to the end. That's the one.
Right, did you have a Pokemon of the week?
I do have a Pokemon of the week, and I totally have my notes right here ready for it. And should we see if anyone can guess a Pokemon of the week? We might have mentioned it a couple of times, but if anyone wants to guess before we go,
if anyone has any guesses, please shout them out. We'll give you a few seconds to try and figure it.
While we're doing the guessing, and then we can get it up, I can tell you guys that I'm so happy with all of the lovely feedback we received on the last episode. We went out on YouTube. It was like the first big thing that we've really done, so I really appreciate everybody giving us the nice feedback on that. So thanks, guys, much appreciated.
I'm trying to see how many followers we are on the Twitch channel. I think we're about 45.
Oh, let's go. We're gonna hit that affiliate number.
I'm on ModView and it doesn't actually show me how many followers we have. How crazy is that?
Consarn it. Consarn it.
I don't think it was that difficult, but all right. Why is that so difficult? Well, 44. 44 followers.
There we go. There we go.
So we're doing all right.
We'll be at the first milestone in no time.
We'll get there.
Let's go.
I tell you what we should do.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see if anyone has got any opinion. I'm gonna eat half of this Kit Kat, and by the time I finish eating this half of this Kit Kat, Barrett will tell you what the Pokemon of the week is. So if you haven't got a clue on what the Pokemon of the week is, don't worry. You have half a Kit Kat to do it.
Ready, guys?
Okay?
All right. So
Your time starts. No.
hello and welcome to today's Pokemon of the week, guys. We have a great one for you. We've mentioned it a few times already today, and it is Amoonguss. Amoonguss is the mushroom Pokemon from from Gen 5. Grass and poison type Pokemon. Amoonguss isn't unique in its typing as it is in its utility. A VCG staple, Amoonguss has made over $335,000 US. That's not a poor mushroom. It's also got over 180 regional top 8s and at least 30 wins, according to LimitlessVGC.com. Amoonguss has access to 2 abilities, Effect Spore and the much more popular Regenerator. Regenerator is an incredible ability that allows users to regain 30% of its HP upon the switching out, which makes it frustrating to remove from your opponent's team. What's more, Amoonguss has a very respectable HP stat of 114, backed up by solid defense and special defense of 70 and 80 respectively. This makes Amoonguss even more difficult to deal with, but there's even more. With moves like Spore, Pollen Puff, and Rage Powder for redirection, recovery, and interference, Amoonguss really is the epitome of what you might call a control aspect of a team in VGC. With a very slow speed stat of 30, Amoonguss often gets teched onto teams as a trick room answer, either acting as a deterrent to setting it up, or by simply preventing it by putting them to sleep. And there he is now, my squidgy boy. As a grass type...
As soon as you were going through it, I was like, oh wait, hang on.
There's no
a
visual.
Really funny plush of it.
The best visual ever. The plush of Amoonguss, guys, in all of its glory. As a grass type, it's immune to powder moves like Spore and Rage Powder, meaning it is not also an answer, but also a problem to itself. Because of this, other grass types inherently become more valuable. So they're the only Pokemon that don't have to worry about Amoonguss. But that can be changed, as some Amoonguss have now started to run Sludge Bomb as an offensive move, just to make sure that it can pick up some KOs on those grass types trying to counter it. So there really is no escape from the power that is Amoonguss. Amoonguss's best friends are Incineroar and insert water type here. Wolfclick recently won the Orlando Regional with an Amoonguss on his team, putting it in more work than some people ever thought an Amoonguss was ever capable of. And there you have it, guys, our Pokemon of the week, Amoonguss.
Insert water type here. Amazing.
It's true.
Just so calmly as well. Just like add insert water type here.
Well, it doesn't.
It's so true.
It doesn't matter.
It's so true.
It's just whatever the one is at the time.
Literally, it's whoever's doing well at that time.
Yeah.
Is the one. Like literally, you could put any of these water types in.
Anyone.
Anyone will do.
It'd be fine because it's not gonna get hit. It's gonna get redirected away from, and it just does what it needs to do.
Oh my! Honestly, Amoonguss, stop it.
Yeah. I think I got everything.
I actually did want to just add to.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to add to that. As you can see, Amoonguss is actually a 3-time world champion. It is one of the most successful VGC Pokemon, like you mentioned in terms of winnings.
Mm-hmm.
Amoonguss is one of the best. Like, it is definitely, other than Gen 8, it has definitely been one of the most successful Pokemon in it.
Oh yeah.
I see Rising Raichu's in the audience. Do we want to bring Rising Raichu just to argue their point again?
Should we see?
Have we?
I feel like we should give them the fair crack if they are. If they would like to, if you're in the audience and you want to request to speak, then you can.
They have requested to speak.
Right then.
I'm going to allow Rising Raichu to join us. Rising Raichu, you have the privilege of being the first audience member to have a say. on our podcast, on the London Corviknight podcast. I must warn you, we have already talked about Corviknight, but we're willing to hear your argument to see if you can sway us. Hello, Rising Raichu, how are you? I can hear you. How are you?
Oh, I don't think my video's working, so sorry about that.
That's okay.
But yeah.
Don't worry about it, bud.
So yes, hear me out. My argument for why Corviknight deserves to be a world champion. So
I love the fact there's music in the background as well. It's great.
One with phenomenal typing as a steel flying type. So steel already gives it resistances to a lot of the main types, like grass, like fairy, like normal. Like there are so many amazing types that steel resists. And with flying, you're immune to all of the ground type moves, like earth powers from Orlando Eye, that would otherwise be used to counter steel types. It has an absolutely insane ability, reflecting all of the stat drops of all Pokemon onto it. So this is particularly a really big deal if your opponent's main fire type is Incin, which is likely to be because Incin is one of the best fire types in the game. It just makes it so much easier for Corviknight to hard wall a lot of these Pokemon that would otherwise be quite disruptive. And if you then put a Rocky Helmet on it and you can wall the Fake Out as well, that just makes it so much easier for Corviknight to hard wall the disruptive aspects of these balance teams. Corviknight then has the ability to act as a soft Tailwind setter, which if you don't want to run something a bit faster like a Tornadus, can be a really good option on these more defensive teams. That's a set that I've used at multiple regional level events now. You have inbuilt recovery using Roost to help keep Corviknight alive, which since its stats aren't the best is really helpful. And it can actually do decent damage. Like, if you use Brave Bird, that should KO most, like, Ogapons if they don't Terra. It should do about 90% to a Rillaboom, which the Rocky Helmet or Woodhammer Recoil can then pick up the remaining 10%. And with Iron Head, you are comfortably KOing a Fluttermane and can easily get Chien Pao into Rocky Helmet range, where the Rocky Helmet will then break the sash. Alternatively, if you want to run something more defensive, you can then run the Iron Defense Body Press set, and you can use Corviknight as a single-handed game-winning mon. Unlike other mons that can do that, like Komodo, Corviknight has that Mirror Armor ability, and much better typing, which just makes it so much easier to hard wall anything that could otherwise knock it out.
I feel like, yeah, that's a lot of good points. Just a quick question for the Rising Raichu, because we were talking about, like, why has Corviknight not become, like, a regional winner or, like, a world champion yet? What are your thoughts on, like, why Corviknight hasn't seen the heights that obviously we would like it to see? Like, why hasn't it got to that level yet? Is it more got to do with the formats that it's placing in?
That Corviknight can really struggle into, particularly powerful fire or electric type Pokemon that are special attackers. So, for example, when things like Heatran and Chi-Yu were everywhere, it was a lot harder to use Corviknight. And now, like, Raging Bolt has kind of taken over, and that makes it a bit harder as well. But when you have that sweet spot with those kinds of metas where those Pokemon aren't as high in usage, then you have an opportunity for Corviknight to really shine. And even if those Pokemon are popular, with other Pokemon that you can have on your team to break those mons, it is entirely possible to then win the game with Corviknight.
That's a very valid point, yeah. Have you got any questions, Barrett? Because that was my one and only.
I will say, I think that that you hit so many good points there that I kind of take back almost everything I said. I think I agree.
Sorry, you're cutting out.
Oh, sorry. I think that I agree with what you say there. Actually, I think that the Rocky Helmet adaptation is actually so good that that could be a staple. And I will say, you have destroyed me on a number of occasions.
Rocky Helmet Corviknight since EUIC last year.
Yeah, I have been destroyed by it, so I do understand it is powerful. Yes.
And of course, Corviknight is amazing because we're the London Corviknights.
There you go.
Yep, there we go.
That's good enough for me, guys. It wins.
That's good enough. GG's.
GG's, guys. Top game.
I do think definitely the points you've raised there, do give us new light into why Corviknight, definitely could go somewhere. What we were saying as well, Rising Writer, I don't know if you agree, but in terms of when it was introduced in Gen 8, it was fairly underwhelming in the sense that the Pokemon Company kind of screwed it over, is what we were thinking. I don't know if you agree on that.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that with Dynamax in the format, that was created a lot of really powerful offensive Pokemon that was kind of too much for Corviknight to handle. But now, with Gen 9, where the main mechanic is terrestrialization, and that tends to benefit defense more, I think that can be a bit better for Corviknight, because you can Terra into these more defensive types if you come up against these fire or electric Pokemon. So you can do something like a Terra Dragon, which resists both of those types, or alternatively, if you don't want to be weak to Fluttermane, then you can do something like a Terra Fire, which I quite like on Corviknight because it means that you can't get pinned by Fluttermane Chi-Yu.
That's a really good point, actually, yeah.
Yeah, you can resist both Fairy and Fire. That just allows you to handle those threats a lot better.
So just one last question then, before we unfortunately have to move on. Is Corviknight going to win Worlds this year?
I have every hope that Corviknight can win Worlds this year. We just need somebody to believe to
There we go.
bring it.
There we go.
The best team, and they have every chance.
I think so.
I fully appreciate that. I am looking forward to watching Pokemon Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, Corviknight edition. But no, thank you very much. Yes, I do fully agree with what you were saying as well. Rocky Helmet is certainly a set that I completely forgot that was a thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the future with Corviknight. Thank you very much, Rising Chief, for quickly joining us. Unfortunately, we do have to.
Sorry for
No, honestly, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
No,
very much.
don't worry about it. Thank you very much, and yes, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, whatever you're doing. That was a very valid point, actually. Yeah, I didn't think about that with Corviknight.
Yeah.
I might have to change. Yeah.
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 I think that
we might have to spread out our answers a bit.
Yeah. The other point as well, it really helped back up the argument I had about it being good in a certain format as well. Like if it gets given the format to do well, then yeah, it could make things happen. Because I've been thinking about what Corviknight, how it struggles in certain formats, but really not being KO'd very easily is really good in the restricted formats and in the single restricted formats. Being able to tank a lot of really strong hits is really, really good. So yeah, it could be something there.
I definitely think near the time for let's see what happens with the next few regionals that pop up. Let's see the data, let's analyze that data. But when it comes to Worlds, I think we're going to have a very, very interesting discussion with everyone about who's the outside pick, who's the underdog. I think we should make bingo cards.
Yes, that'd be so cool.
I actually think, in the back of my mind, I was thinking this the other day, I think not only should we make bingo cards, we should all select one Pokemon that is very low on usage, and whoever gets the furthest place-wise with that Pokemon wins a prize. Right?
Cool.
So, for example, obviously Starmie's not in it, but if I picked Starmie and Starmie was placed higher than any other Pokemon that everyone picked, I win the prize.
I like that.
We could throw a Corviknight plush. Or
it's
something.
The Price is Right, but for Pokemon results. The price is
Pokemon.
The Pokemon is right.
The Pokemon is right.
The Pokemon is right.
With Bruce.
Bruce Forsyth presents.
He's still here.
The Pokemon. Professor Oak presents.
He's still with us. Professor Oak.
Professional fossil Pokemon himself, Bruce Forsyth here.
It's like, do you like the dome fossil? Do you like the dome fossil?
I love a bit of the dome fossil, don't you, darling?
I love a bit. I love a bit. Well, I'll tell you what, we're throwing a Helix Fossil as well. We're throwing a Helix Fossil.
What a treasure! What a treasure!
What a treasure.
Hidden,
Right.
buried treasure.
So. Oh no, this is going to be a meme.
I just realised what this sounded like.
Jesus Christ.
I don't mean because. Don't worry.
Oh dear. Kids, if you're too young to understand that, ask your parents.
They shouldn't be watching.
You should be go to bed.
Go to bed.
Okay, so obviously the last segment we want to do is just go through some Pokemon battles that you have all submitted into the Discord for us to watch.
Yes.
We have 3 battles lined up once again. We have not watched these, so unfortunately, and I have not had time to review these. So I'm just going to say in advance, I apologize if there is any bad language said in the chat. There is nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. We can only apologize for any rude language that you might encounter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if when it comes to editing, we can blur it out. Maybe,
oh yeah, I'll get rid of it in the edit. No problem.
We'll sort it out. We only apologize for those watching the live stream. So, how are we doing? Yeah, we're doing all right. So, we got 3 battles lined up. All 3 battles, I have no idea what. This first battle that I've selected is from Toopkey in the Discord.
Oh, cool.
He has said, crazy endgame, got kicked out of the top 250 recently, but I'm sure you guys will have a good laugh with this. So apparently the endgame is something to be amazed at.
Oh,
so I put this on really slow to help us go through it a fair bit, and hopefully we can watch it. Is the screen big enough? Do I need to make it slightly bigger? Are we good?
Do you think you could
screen size?
Zoom maybe 2 clicks inwards?
I will zoom.
Oh, that's perfect.
How's that?
That is actually
perfect?
Yes.
Oh my lord, look at that. That's perfect.
That was
yeah,
amazing.
Just seen it on the screen.
I can't believe how well you did that.
That was so good.
First time.
Right. I want to make it really slow, but it's not going to do it, is it? It's just going to go to slow. So
like
we'll see how we do. So, right, literally. So the teams are, we've got Groundon with a Bronzon, which actually we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Probably with Heatproof, I would have thought, with that Bronzon. However, the interesting part is it's paired with Incineroar, Walking Wake, Sinister. I want to say that's Sinister, isn't it? Yeah, Sinister and Frostmoth. Charlie would again be really happy to see a Frostmoth here, I'm not going to lie. One of his secret picks for EUIC that never came to fruition.
Shame.
And on the opposite side, we've got Calyrex Shadow Rider with a Clefairy, Rillaboom, Urshifu. We don't know whether it's Rapid Strike or Single Strike because Showdown doesn't show that yet. Torn and Incin. So I don't know what your initial thoughts here is. Mine is either we're going to see a Sinister Groundon lead, or maybe Incin, Walking Wake, maybe. I don't know. It's a bit interesting.
Yeah.
I'm expecting Bronzon to maybe Trick Room here.
That would make sense with the Calyrex there. They do have quite a lot of. I mean, I think Calyrex is a Pokemon that fits really well with the lads over there. You know, with the Rillaboom and Urshifu Incin. I found that the trend of one very fast, strong Pokemon and the rest of your Pokemon are very slow, bulky Pokemon works really well with all of these guys kind of fulfilling that. But it's easy to pick that team composition apart. So it depends on how this Groudon is played. If the Trick Room goes up, that could be a problem depending on what they brought. So yeah, interesting.
It's going to be interesting. So let's see what they do here. So we've got it on slow mode so me and Barrett can talk at the same time while this is happening. So Bronzon is part of the lead with Incineroar for... I'm not going to pronounce that name. I can't pronounce it. And you've got Torn. And I'm assuming this... Oh, what's the other one? Oh, it's Urshifu. It's Urshifu Rapid Strike on the other side. So Torn Urshi versus Incin Bronzon. Obviously, the Intimidate comes out from the Urshifu. Here comes Terra Dark from the Bronzon, though. See what this is going to happen. Fake out into the Urshifu. Actually works. So Urshifu has been faked out. What is Torn going to do here? Torn... Okay, so Urshifu was going to try to do something. Obviously, it's flinched. So Torn is going for a Bleakwood Storm. Hits both Bronzon and Incineroar. Gets the speed drop onto the Bronzor. And Bronzor
Goes
gets the
Legend.
Trick Room up.
Bad positioning there
So-
for them, but great for this Bronzor.
Oh, fantastic turn for the Bronzon. Not only is it got reduced speed, so it's now even slower, but yes, that Taunt really tried to... They really went offensive, didn't they, with the Urshifu Taunt, and it did not pay off at all. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Obviously, Trick Room lasts 5 turns, so I wonder how they're going to position themselves. Let's see. Turn 2. Urshifu goes Terra Fighting. Wants to go after Bronzon or Incineroar. This is going to be interesting. Bronzon uses Gravity, though. Everyone's now smack bang to the ground, including Taunt. Incineroar goes for a knockoff into Taunt. Knocks off its Mental Herb. So it was a Mental Herb Taunt. Bleakwood Storm comes back out. Bronzon and Incin both take damage. No speed drops, though. Close combat from Urshifu does pick up the KO on the Bronzon. So, Bronzon, Gravity, and Trick Room. And it has gone. Terra Fighting Urshifu might have just spared it. Here comes Big Daddy Groundon.
Yeah.
See you later, Urshifus.
Makes sense here.
Here comes Godfairy, though. All Taunt immediately goes for the Rain Dance, though. Doesn't want to give Groudon any fire type damage. Parting Shot, however, comes out from Incin into Taunt. So now we might... I wonder what we're going to see here. Frostmoth. Frostmoth is the last Pokemon. How interesting. Sword Stance will Groudon, though. It's going to be interesting. 3 turns of Trick Room left. Groudon is going to be quite slow, actually. Protect from Clefairy.
Just wants that longevity if the Trick Room ends up... Well, when they outlast that Trick Room, they're going to want that Clefairy still there. Oh!
But that Frostmoth is running Blizzard. Frostmoth running Blizzard. Takes out Taunt. See you later. And it's Life... Is it Life Orb?
Life Orb Frostmoth. Interesting.
It's Life Orb Frostmoth.
The gravity...
Groudon, of course, uses Precipice Blades.
The gravity made it 100% accurate Blizzard, so no matter what the weather, it's going to be 100% accurate. That's so interesting.
Mental.
I didn't think of that.
Here comes Urshifu comes back out. Remember, we haven't seen the Terra... no, we have seen the Terra, sorry. After you comes out from Clefairy into Urshifu. So Urshifu is actually going to go next. Surging Strikes into Groudon. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the
yeah,
damage.
Groudon's not living that. Oh, he might. No, he's definitely
even
not.
with the
No,
berry.
see you later, Groudon. Even with the berry was not enough. What is Frostmoth going to do here? Remember, Gravity is still inactive.
So it could go for that.
Wonder if this Frostmoth... Does Frostmoth have Hurricane? No, it's just going for another Blizzard. Does a lot of damage to Urshifu, though.
Yeah, without that water typing, it's taking a maximum... Well, it's taking the neutral damage on that now.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. Of course, Trick Room has ended now. So now we've got 2 turns of Rain, and Gravity is still in effect. So what's going to happen here? Urshifu Clefairy, Incineroar Frostmoth. Incineroar says see you later. Calyrex comes out, though. See what happens here.
Let's hope it doesn't eat a knockoff here. They get the Protect
So
off.
Clefairy protects. What is Incin going to do? Incin does go for the fake out into Clefairy. Frostmoth going for another Blizzard.
Let's go.
Goes for another Blizzard.
Oh!
Oh! Oh!
Oh, the freeze.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
If you hit enough
So
blizzards,
Clefairy, one of them's gonna freeze.
it's gonna.
Wow, that's mental. Imagine switching in to get frozen. That is huge. That is a huge play.
I hate to be him, but you love to see it, but you hate to see it at the same time. Because you.
Exactly. It's like Rock Slide for Lynches.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I run Frostmoth.
Right.
How are they going to get out of? Well, I assume they don't get out of this. Then I mean the knockoff, unless they thaw this turn, the knockoff takes them out 100%.
But now we're going to see what happens here. Calyrex is frozen though. There's nothing Calyrex can do at the moment.
No.
Unless they can try and thaw out. Follow Me comes out from the Clefairy. Remember, it's still raining, so be interested to see what happens here. Of course, Calyrex is still frozen. Incineroar and Frostmoth. Incineroar goes for a Flare Blitz anyway. Does a bit of chip.
Okay.
Does a bit of chip.
Quite a lot more than I
Frostmoth
expected.
going for another Blizzard. Oh, it's a Bug Buzz.
Oh, that resisted Bug Buzz. It still lived. Can't rely on that Blizzard without the gravity.
No, I'm kind of still amazed this is a Life Orb Frostmoth. Kind of hilarious.
This Clefairy has outlasted Trick Room, and now it's outlasting this.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
It is.
Calyrex is still frozen. Incineroar's still going after that Clefairy. Obviously thinking it was going to do a Follow Me anyway. Oh, it does hit a Blizzard? Does it?
It
No,
missed a Blizzard.
Oh. I wonder I wonder if that's costly. Anyway, helping hand to Calyrex. So I wonder if they're thinking it's going to 4 out. No, it's still frozen.
They were hoping.
They were so hoping. So what is Instant going to do here? Another Flare Blitz. See you later, Clefairy.
And I'm assuming a Bug
So there's
Buzz.
Terra Fighting. There's a Terra Fighting Urshifu in the bag. Bug Buzz potentially coming out here. Wonder what's going to... Yeah, it's another Bug Buzz. Ooh, nearly knocked it out. Nearly knocked it out.
Still frozen.
There you go, Urshifu in. I'm expecting an Aqua Jet here. Or actually, no, it's still outspeeding. There you go. Surging Strikes. Frostmoth is going to go down here.
That's right.
Surging Strikes takes out the Frostmoth. What an effort though by that Frostmoth.
Yeah, really.
Incineroar. Calyrex still frozen. Incineroar going after Urshifu? Yeah. So there you go. Incineroar's just flare blitzing everything. And now it's a frozen Cali against an Incin. Is Calyrex gonna come back to life, or is it gonna stay? It stays frozen. And Incineroar should pick up the KO here with a knockoff. Wow.
Choice was choice spec'd in, so it couldn't even protect. Oh, that's a shame. That was a good match. That was close.
That was a great. I think literally I apologize if there is any bad language. Calyrex. Okay, I'm gonna have to get rid of that quite quickly.
Okay, just.
Literally.
No, what?
Oh my god. Anyway.
I'm so sorry.
There you go, Barrett. You've got a job to do in editing.
Oh, no, editing.
So, literally, Calyrex Freezy won the game for them, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Considering they lost Bronzong quite quickly. I mean, to be fair, Bronzong's job seemed to be was literally just trick room gravity and then just go away. Frostmoth put in some work though, didn't it? My god.
Yeah, that did go. I wasn't expecting to see it doing that. I thought if I was going to see anything, it would be some kind of supporting role. But the Life Orb Blizzard in the gravity is just like a completely out of their strategy. I was not expecting.
Also, Life Orb. Like Life Orb.
Yeah.
Anyway. So the second match, we're going to see Calyrex Shadow again, unfortunately, for anyone who's not a fan. However, this one is paired... Oh my god, this looks disgusting. This is from KDVGC. Calyrex Shadow, Indeedee, Chi-Yu, Fluttermane, Urshifu, and Torn.
Oh, it's a good team. Solid.
I don't like that.
I think it looks good.
I don't like the look of that. When I say I don't like that, I mean it looks disgusting and I'd rather not see it.
I don't want to see it
I'm
from
expecting
that
Urshifu to be Rabid Strike.
I would assume... Oh, no, actually, it could be...
I think, maybe.
There's no grass type.
I'm just thinking because Chi-Yu.
I think this is actually just weirdly enough. I think this is new 2-2-2 without Dondozo. You've got like Chi-Yu, Fluttermane.
Yeah, you're right.
Size, expanding force,
yeah.
And then you've got the Torn Urshifu, the standard Torn Urshifu, but it might be the dark variant of the Torn Urshifu where they're just going for the wicked blows over and over again.
Stop it, Ron. And the opponent is running. So Han 32 is the opponent. It's riding. Riding
Koraidon.
Rhydon Koraidon. Fluttermane, Oakbomb Heartflame, Gouging Fire, Amoonguss, and Chen Pao. Literally, I think we mentioned about what the potential leads are. KD can literally lead anything he wants here.
Yeah.
So Han is sending out Gouging Fire, and it's going to be partnered up with a Chen Pao from them. And KD is sending out Calyrex Shadow Rider. Oh, is this Indeedee? It is. So it's Indeedee Cali versus Gouging Fire Chen Pao. I wonder if this is going to be a Follow Me Nasty plot.
Oh, interesting idea. He might want to avoid breaking the sash.
It's Terra Fighting?
It's Terra Blast into Chen Pao, isn't it?
It's Terra Blasted to Chen. Yeah.
This is.
So anyway, Indeedee comes with the Follow Me. Chen Pao's probably going to go for an Ice Spinner here.
Terra Blast.
Nope. Chen Pao.
Oh, here we go.
See you later.
We lost you for a second there, but we saw what happened. So we saw the Ice Spinner, and we saw the Rocky Helmet damage taking out the Chen Pao, which is pretty
absolute
cool.
Mental. Gouging Fire went for a Howl. So it's now plus. It is the slowest on the field though. Oakbomb Heartflame comes out now. So we've got 2 fire types now. We're burning with Desire here, Han. Terrifier, Oakbomb.
Your grass types are terrifying.
Oh my goodness. your grass types are terrifying. Helping hand on the Cali. Is this expanding force time?
Let's go.
It is expanding force time. Oh my god. Oh my god.
They should have seen that coming. They should have seen that coming.
Disgusting.
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 And now Cali is 2 times. It's got +2 boost from the helping hand.
And they go.
And hand just forfeited. 2 turns that took. 2 turns.
Impressive.
I have to agree kind of with Josh on this. The Indeedee doing follow me, so Chen Pao was going for an ice spinner.
Mm-hmm.
No, it didn't do ice spinner, did it? What did
It did. It ice spinned, but because it got knocked out by the rocky helmet, it doesn't remove the terrain.
The terrain doesn't go.
Yeah. So the KD thought of that process forwardly, you know. No, knock it down to the sash because it's gonna get knocked out now anyway.
I think, obviously KD played brilliantly there. But as an opponent, if you're looking at that lead, I feel as though you could have played around that a bit better. I mean, ridiculous, like just how easy that was. For Cali just to sweep there. Terra fighting Calyrex.
The thing is,
Terra frightening.
I love that. I will give it to him though. If I try and think about this, they kind of did get the right idea with what they were trying to do. They see the lead, they go Indeedee Calyrex, they know Indeedee Calyrex, and they think the answer here is get rid of the terrain, start boosting up, right? Because I think that what their game plan was ice spinner the Indeedee, get rid of the terrain. You're going to be fine because Calyrex is probably going to do protect or something like this because it doesn't want to take a dark move. It doesn't want to take any damage, right? Because generally speaking, Calyrex is very frail. So they're expecting either Calyrex to switch out or protect or something like that. Indeedee goes for the follow me, but because the Calyrex has knocked it down to Sash already, KD knows that the best thing that they could do is get rid of the terrain. So he's gone around that by going, well, you can't get rid of the terrain if I knock you out in the process of you doing it. So by going for the Terra fighting, I mean, you can knock a Chien-Pao down to its sash in like a bunch of ways, but Calyrex can only do it this one way, and by doing that, totally facilitated the rest of the game. And I think that's really clever because it's taking a small interaction that not a lot of people even really know about and using it to actually using their lack of that knowledge as a way of winning the game. And I think that is peak VGC.
Oh yeah, no, like without a doubt, like the what KD was doing was completely probably one of the perfect ways to use it.
100%.
But I feel as though as an opponent, if you're seeing something like that, this is why terrain wars is so important.
Oh yeah.
Like, I feel as though with the team that they had there, could have easily put a Rillaboom or something else on that team.
Yeah.
Like, sod it. Misty Surge Wheezing. Like, let's do it.
That team actually is better. I think they've got a Fire Pond on there when Rillaboom could go there.
Yeah,
they have 2 Fire type. It's because of the sun, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally they were trying to abuse sun, but if you're not gonna lead the sun, like, because another thought they could have done is if that was boosted speed, I mean, could have outsped the Cali, and actually done a fair bit of chip damage there. Probably would have been a better situation to be in as well. Like, instead of howling with your gouging, because I feel like that's greedy as well. Like, you've got a Calyrex in front of you that's going to do a lot of damage. Like, yeah, I feel as though using Howl in a time like that really isn't the best idea. Like, just go for the if they're going to be really aggressive, you can't just sit on the sideline and think, oh well, it'll get better in a minute.
Yeah, they were definitely trying to take advantage of what they thought was going to be a really passive play from KD, and he just like flipped the whole thing on.
He literally just walked up to them and slapped them.
Literally,
that's
in
literally
the
what
street.
I saw.
It was mental.
In the street, just like saw their name and they just went, "Oh, I just battled you." Slap.
It was like round 2. What do you mean reject costume shit?
Put them up. Like, but yes, no, obviously, well done, KD. Like, KD is a master of Psy spam. At the moment, there's a reason why he's gone to multiple top cut finishes with Side Spam. Yeah.
It's changing the image of Side
So,
Spam.
you see the image of Side Spam, it's a photo of KD next.
He's doing a good job for Side Spam all around.
They actually designed Iron Crown off KD, just saying.
It does look like him. You know when they say dogs look like their owners? That's what I'm...
Just have a KD with horns.
There you go.
And there you go. Right, final match. This is Nerd Shadiness. I can instantly tell this is Nerd Shadiness. Last week we had similar. Do I need to zoom this in? No, I don't. Okay. So Nerd Shadiness. You can also tell it's Nerd because he's using Annihilate. Annihilate seems to be his personal favorite right now.
Amazing.
Annihilate, Gouging Fire, Ogerpom, Heartflame, Tyranitar is going to be interesting. Amoonguss, Roaring Moon, and Kyurem White. And on the other side, we have a Zacian Graphii. I want to say that's that. I never used it. Comfy, Sinister, Arcanine, and Basculegion. This literally screams we need to protect Zacian.
Yes. Yeah, that's what this entire composition is for, just to keep Zacian on the field. But what if it gets intimidated?
Yeah. The Basculegion's an interesting choice, actually.
Yeah.
Because I thought it would have been more suitable for rain teams, but this should be interesting. It's got adaptability, actually. That could be playing a factor. But anyway, let's see what happens here. That said good luck. Anyway, Ogerpom, Heartflame, and Annihilate are the lead for Nerd Shadiness. And on the opposite side, we see Graphii, and the partner is Comfy. So this is going to be interesting, actually, then. So remember, Comfy's got Triage, which of course gives healing to +4. Doodle ability is protected by the... What?
Are there things occurring?
So I have to read that.
There's things happening.
There's things occurring, and I have no... What the hell just happened there? What was that turn? I need to watch this again in order to fully understand what exactly is happening. So obviously Ogerpom and Annihilate come out from Nerd. Graphii and Comfey come out. Comfey's Triage gives it priority healing. Graphii's got Prankster. Graphii went for a Doodle. So the opposing Graphii's ability is protected by the effects of his ability shield. Comfey has gained Defiant, apparently. Ogerpom goes for an Ivy Cudgel into the Graphii. Comfey goes Tailwind.
Okay.
So now they are faster. Annihilate goes for a Bulk Up, though, so it's +1 in attack and defense. Comfey's Defiant. What on earth are we doing?
Okay.
Hospitality comes out from Sinister switching.
Interesting.
Encore comes out, so Annihilate now has to Bulk Up again. Ivy Cudgel comes out into the Sinister, though. Does a lot of damage. Not quite there for a knockout, though. And Annihilate shows off its muscles a bit more. Sorry, that was a really terrible Schwarzenegger impression.
Don't you apologise.
Annihilate goes for Terra Fairy. Obviously, it's still encored. Parting Shot into the Ogerpom from Graphii. Considering it's only got 2 turns of Tailwind, so Comfy comes back out. Sinister goes for a Matcha Gotcha. Misses the Annihilate. Doesn't do very much to the Ogerpom. And I believe Ogerpom goes for another Ivy Cudgel. This time into the Comfey slots. Obviously, doesn't do as much damage.
No,
but Annihilate is still bulking up. Have they forgotten about Annihilate again?
They seem to have not thought about the Annihilate there. They've thought, we'll encore that out of the way.
Also, bearing in mind, Tailwind is ending for them this turn. So now they've healed Sinister back up. Shadow Ball goes into Annihilate. Obviously, because it's Terra Fairy now is doing as much damage, it doesn't actually do much damage at all. Another Bulk Up comes, so literally Annihilate is literally just using dumbbells here, and it's just taunting.
You better wait until
I'm on earth are we doing?
Oh.
Like, yeah, might as well just... Oh, actually, yeah, I've just realised what's going to happen. Amoonguss, Rage Powder from the Sinister. Wonder if there's a Rage Powder coming from Amoonguss. No! Okay, so Tailwind from Comfy again. Annihilate, I think it's just got a Rage Fist. Yeah, see you later, Sinister.
Good night.
Rocky Helmet, Sinister.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is either going to be Spore or it's Pollen Puff into its own Annihilate, back up to full HP.
I would.
So actually, pretty good turn from Nerd there.
Nice.
Grafia comes back out with the Comfy. Comfy goes for another floral healing into the Grafia.
Nothing wants to go down.
Nothing wants to go down. Encore into the Amoongus.
So go for another.
What on earth is going on? Rage Fist, of course, is a moon into Grafia. I think maybe he was thinking it was going to be a switch, like a baited switch. Grafia takes a Pollen Puff as well, doesn't do that much damage. Comfy is left alone this turn. 2 turns of Tailwind left. Copycat comes out from Grafia.
Okay.
Uses Pollen Puff into Annihilate.
Interesting.
What are we doing? This is so weird. Double Pollen Puff into Annihilate. What an...
Oh, the strongest Rage Fist
my God.
ever. Boom.
Rage Fist, see you later. Comfy goes. Seriously, what are we doing? Anyway, Grafia takes another Pollen. They've literally forgotten about the ape again.
Yeah.
Last week it was let's intimidate Annihilate too much, and now Zacian comes out.
Do it itself.
Oh my god.
This is plus
right.
4.
Ogerpom comes out. Yeah, this is like plus 4. Annihilate. Yeah, Annihilate just has to protect here.
Yeah.
Zacian, I think, is going to go for a Behemoth Blade into Annihilate. Parting Shot. They're trying to Parting Shot Annihilate.
Bad idea.
What on earth are we... Oh, it's a Swords Dance Zacian now. This match is so weird. Tailwind, I think, has ended as well. Tailwind hasn't.
Yeah.
Annihilate is pretty much nearly full HP.
Oh, the follow me.
Follow me on the Ogerpom. I think a Rage Fist is going to come into this Zacian. A Parting Shot into the Ogerpom.
Good for them, considering they're probably trying to Parting Shot the Annihilate.
Oh my god. Ogerpom lives anyway.
That's mad.
Thanks to a not very effective Behemoth Blade.
That's crazy.
And Annihilate's Rage Fist one-shot Zacian. Like, we are surprised. Are we surprised? Seriously.
They really made a team where they thought, you know what, I'm going to out-heal anyone. The only one who'll be able to defeat me is me. they out-heal any damage.
The strongest.
The only way you could win is if I facilitate it myself.
Oh my god. Oh, Drain Punch, comes out from Annihilate. There you go.
Nice neutral hit.
I'm so confused.
That was brilliant.
That was brilliant. I'm so baffled.
That really was.
I mean, I know this is low ladder, but still, I want to understand.
The Copycat was amazing.
Copycat's amazing.
What was?
Oh my god.
Do you think it was someone?
What was going on?
Do you think it was someone trying to actually use Copycat to do a thing, or do you think that they were just thinking Copycat is fantastic?
I think, yeah, it must be. Like, they were just praising Copycat so much.
Yeah, they're just like, let's just use that.
The fact that it was like, Comfy's really good at healing. I'm going to give it to Fire now.
Yeah. I love it. They were like, guys, I know we encored the Annihilate into beat up, but
it's a bulk up.
It's a bulk up. But what we can do right now is make sure we finish the job. Give that man 300 rage powder, rage fist damage. Give that man the 300 base power damage move. He earned it. Look how hard he worked. He bulked up so hard.
Oh my god, they were so grateful that Annihilate graced it with its presence. Like,
the Copycat specifically was confusing because Pollen Puff was the last move used in the last turn, and they had Tailwind, and they had the 2 fastest Pokemon on the field. They 100% knew what Copycat was gonna make.
Yeah.
Unless they thought that one of them was gonna come out with like the only thing I can think is that if Amoongus had for some reason protected there, they would have very cleverly have executed the funniest and suavest double protect I've ever seen.
Do you know what? I think what baffles me more is the fact that Annihilate went through 2 rounds of Tailwind.
Yes.
Like 10 turns of being slower and literally sat there just bulking. It's like, yeah. I need to get more muscles.
Yes.
Like, let me flaunt my flexibility.
Brilliant. Great game.
Yeah, Zacian, you want a piece? Honestly, it just completely baffles me how it's like Defiant Comfy, 2 rounds of Tailwind. Let's copycat Pollen Puff, and then let's use Pollen Puff. Like,
It's just part of. I was thinking, did they think because they had done the healing, they thought Amoonguss just targeted this Pokemon, their side, with Pollen Puff. So if I now copycat, well, I do the same thing, but no, the targeting is random. So yeah, and it will never be your own.
oh,
It will never
so
randomly
weird.
side target Pollen Puff, even though that'd be really cool. And there should be more moves that do that. Pollen Puff is a really cool move, but
Right.
yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, so weird. Like, anyway,
All right, yes. Thank you to
before
everyone
my
who
brain
submitted.
melts.
Thank you to everyone who submitted their battles, and if you want to submit another one and you're in the Discord already, throw it in the weekly reviews in the roundtable section right at the top of the Discord, and we will hopefully get to it next week.
Yes. Josh, I will make a note of your battle that was posted today to put in next week's show. So have no fear, buddy. That is literally it for tonight, I
That
believe.
is it.
I think
We
that's
did
all
it.
about all the stuff we want to talk about. We did it. We've gone through episode 2. So, you know, our first roundtable discussion I thought went quite well.
I did, yeah. I liked it. We hit some good points.
And we have a poll now to figure out who it is.
Yes.
It's going to be quite interesting to see who next week's winner is.
Mhm.
Next week will be back to normal. So it's not a roundtable discussion next week, but the following week obviously will be another discussion.
Mhm.
We're going to think about what we'll obviously tell you what the question is next week. Next week, I think we're going to have a bit more of a chill approach. I think we'll just talk about. We'll figure out some things to talk about next week. Obviously, keep bringing your replays in. We'll keep watching those.
Mhm.
I have a game that I particularly think we should play next week if we have enough people.
Sounds
It
good.
only really works if we have enough people. Which is basically a game of I'm thinking of a Pokemon, but you can't pick the same. So, for example, if I say I'm thinking of a fire starter type, and you go Tepig, if I'm thinking Tepig as well, then you're out. And there's like 5 rounds of it. So it's basically last person standing regarding that.
That's cool.
Which
There
I
we
thought would
go.
be quite fun to play. But yeah, we could sort that out next week. We'll release like some previews or teasers maybe for next week.
Ooh.
But obviously same time next week, 7:30 on Twitch, 7:00 on Discord. We apologise for not getting the pre-show sorted.
You guys got a bit of pre-show.
We completely forgot. Yeah, you got a bit of pre-show today. We completely forgot that this channel was private. So we forgot to switch it on. Our bad. However, with that being said, thank you everyone who joined on Twitch. Thank you everyone who joined us in the Discord. Thank you to everyone who commented as well. Take one for me, Swede, You're Conscious, Danny as well as people in the Discord, Josh, Shiny Joey as well, for popping by. Of course, you can watch this again on YouTube later in the week. And you can join our Discord if you want to join in next week's shenanigans on whatever that we get up to. I think that's it, if I'm honest. I don't think there's literally anything else to go through.
No, we done it.
Oh, no, sorry. One last bit. If anyone has any bonus ideas they want us to do in order to bump us to affiliate on the Twitch channel, please obviously let us know in the Discord. We have a server feedback section. So if you want to help us along with that, as well as we're coming up with some ideas for emotes to get done for when we become affiliate, please jot your ideas down and let us know. That is literally it, I think. I think that is the end of the episode today. So it is goodbye from me, as I do a cheesy little wave.
And goodbye
and
from
it's
me.
goodbye from him. Yes, I hope you all have a fantastic week. See you all next week. Look after yourselves. Much love.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.